Good afternoon and welcome to Guiseley AFC Radio for the Skrill North promotion final between Altrincham and Guiseley. A huge game in prospect here at Moss Lane, as one of these sides will be promoted to the Skrill Premier this afternoon and line up against teams such as Bristol Rovers, Torquay, Grimsby Town, a host of other notable former Football League and big non-league games. If you get up to the Conference Premier, then you are just one step away from the Football League, which just goes to emphasise the size of the prize that's at stake this afternoon. I'm Colin Robertson, alongside me is Nick Keefe, and we'll be bringing you full commentary here on Guiseley AFC Radio, as we have done, of every game the Lions have been involved in this season.
Just a test to see if our audio feed is working, just a test to see if our audio feed is working.
Now the ball in the area, Glenn Walker gets it across and it's in the back of the net from a very quick throw, thrown into Glenn Walker. Glenn Walker lays it back, Isaac Reed was on hand, and after 12 minutes of this game, it's Guiseley 0, Brackley 1. Well, we've enjoyed non-league day, we've had a great day supporting the Kick It Out campaign. It's been fantastic to see all the juniors playing football and the Guiseley and Menston juniors that have been out, the boys and girls here. It's been a wonderful occasion off the field, on the field, disappointment for the Lions. It's ended here, Guiseley 0, Brackley 2. And with that, well, we'll see you next time. Steve, bad day at the office, day to forget?
I were poor. Had too many mistakes. They were up for it. They were better all over the park. They wanted it more than we did. I think a lot of guys and players that put a shirt on today have got to go away and look at themselves and decide what if playing here is what they want. It's all right huffing and puffing in pre-season training, and on a couple of my interviews I've said as much about certain things, certain people. Well, a bit far better team today, far better.
Haven gets his head to it, but he's beaten in the air by Matt Clark. He breaks to an Altrincham player though, coming into the edge of the box, in the 6-yard box, squares. Damian Reeves has a shot. Walshaw, eventually, wouldn't you know it, it's James Walshaw who picks up the scrap, tucks it away into the net for his hat-trick on his first game against Guiseley since leaving them in the summer, and hasn't he put Guiseley to the sword here in the second half. 3 goals in the first 20 minutes of the second half.
Yes, very simple from Altrincham. Ball in the box, ramped out with the first ball. Luke Raven, I think, won the first header. It's come down. Full-backs run past Clark in, pulled it in, and it's just a simple tap-in for James Walshaw on his hat-trick.
And what a game of 2 halves this has been so far, as Guiseley restart 4-1 down, having led at half-time.
Yeah, I'm joined again for the second time, actually, after the Altrincham defeat 4-1 by Guiseley manager Mark Bauer. Mark, you've just called me over. You just want to have another word to the fans?
Yeah, I mean, I know the fans came in good numbers today, and we let them down in the second half, and probably my inexperience really as manager at this point, I pulled the players into the dressing room straight away after the game, so I apologise for them not going over and appreciating the support. The players do appreciate the support that they've got, but that was me and probably my inexperience wanting to get them in the dressing room and tell them what was on my mind after what was the second half. I've just not seen the likes of for a long time.
Not quite sure how many minutes of added time have been there announced, Tim, but it's picked up now by Connor Hobson. Hobson feeds the ball through to Louis Swain. Louis Swain's offside. Can he get the ball in the back of the net? He can! He lofted it over the goalkeeper. Louis Swain beat the offside trap, played in by Connor Hobson, and right at the end, the Guiseley substitute, the man who's on loan right till the end of Christmas, comes in and grabs the winning goal, surely in stoppage time. It's Guiseley 2, Barrow 1.
Do you know what though? The best thing about that is such a tribute to Mark and the lads, because we've been professional, we've been organised, and frankly we've been the better side. They'll argue that, it's the FA Trophy, it's not important, blah 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 blah. Well, if you come here today and watch that, guys are the better side, thoroughly deserve to win, and it's becoming onwards and upwards. It's 2 months now since we lost, and we looked the part.
Balls into the area. Guys, you have another chance here. Alex Johnson! Oh my word! He turned the defence and has made it Guiseley 6, Telford 1.
And the chant from the home fans, quite predictably, because we enjoy a good joke here against one of the top teams in the league, is easy.
Well, this is an evening that will live long into the memory. 2006, we said it before, the last time guys had taken points off Telford. 2006, 8 years ago. Mark Stewart getting the goal. This evening, we've got 6. Guiseley lead Telford United, who could have gone top of the table this evening with a win or a point, I think. As it is, they have been beaten comprehensively by Guiseley.
Wayne Brooksby now takes advantage of a slip from Pete. Brooksby towards the edge of the area, cuts in field, takes a shot from distance. It's there! Wayne Brooksby with the left boot hits the bottom right-hand corner, and the former Ferriby man comes back to haunt the side that he once played for, and it is now North Ferriby United 0, Guiseley 1.
Superb bit of play from Wayne Brooksby there. Nathan Pete lost control of the ball, slipped. Wayne Brooksby took full advantage of that. Great shot with his left foot, Wayne Brooksby. Bottom corner, 1-0 on the day, 3-0 to Guiseley on aggregate.
Tim Richards here, post-match with Andy Ellsworth. Andy, how good does that feel to get the win and go to the final?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic feeling. Playoffs are playoffs. I've been in them long enough to know that they are cup finals, every single one of them, and over the 2 legs I think we deserved it a lot. We defended very well and hit them on the counter-attack, which we're quite good at the moment.
All of which leads us here today at Moss Lane for the Skrill North promotion final to face the team that beat us so soundly 4-1 back in October. Nick, you and I were commentating here alongside Danny Ellis that afternoon, and never in our wildest dreams could we have pictured being back here for a promotion final after that day.
No, I was making my commentary debut that day, and I was wondering if I'd get to see any goals, and unfortunately I think I got all 5 of them, and at half-time we were winning for the first time in absolutely ages, and I thought, well, maybe this is the day that it's going to change. And we came out after half-time that day, conceded 4 of the most disastrous goals at the end away to our right that I'm looking at as we stand there in the back of the main stand at Altrincham's Moss Lane ground now, and I thought, this is a write-off. This season we're going absolutely nowhere. And then you remember we had that break of about 2 weeks, I think it was, before the Histon game, and that gave Mark, I think, a bit of a chance to settle some nerves, get a few things organised that he wanted to in training, and start to sort out the defence as best as he could, while he was missing Danny Ellis, who was sat with us for quite a few weeks, frustrated, waiting for his knees to clear up. And after that Histon game, the game away to North Ferriby, and with the return of Danny Boschel and going to the top place team in the division and beating them 3-2 on their ground, ever since then it's been like watching a different team. It's been like the old Guiseley, the guys that we enjoyed watching in the first half of last season, or the season that we got promoted from the Unibond as it was. So here we are on the final day of the season, 90 minutes to play. Missing a couple of key players. Everyone's excited. Few nerves, I'm sure, amongst both squads. Hundreds and hundreds of Guiseley fans at the away end already. It's all perfectly poised for a 50-50 game of football, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? And what a scene we have here today. Here at Moss Lane, wonderful football ground this. Covered on 3 sides, and the open stand away to our right is the one where the Guiseley fans are congregating. Some of them have made their way into the main stand here. Obviously there's no seating behind the goal away to our right, but of course all those free coaches are laid on by Steve Parkin, and the board has allowed Guiseley to travel in their numbers, and I think some of them are still making their way into the ground away to our right. 500 were booked onto the coaches, and I'm sure a good number more will be making their way via car, rail, bus, whatever you make of it, to get here today. We've had some heavy rain this morning. The rain is thankfully off the pitch at the moment, thankfully from the perspective of those fans away to our right, who of course have an open terrace, and some parts of the ground, the turf obviously needing a little bit of protection with covers on certain areas of the pitch. But this is a marvellous spectacle, and the Lions at the moment just going through their warm-up process. There's a robin which is the mascot, down to the right-hand side, having a little dance in front of the home fans here, as Altrincham also get prepared for this huge game here. Now, for the big occasion, we also have a pitch side reporter today, Tim Richards, who's in amongst the fans and officials. So let's hand over now to Tim, who I think has some Guiseley fans alongside him.
Well, thanks, Colin, and I'm joined here before the game with some excited looking fans. How are the nerves before this game? First, Elijah.
A bit like, I really want them to win, but I'm not sure if they will. So like, I really want them to, but I'm not sure if they will.
Yeah, sensible thinking there. And I'm here with Ollie as well. Ollie, how about your nerves?
Well, I want Guiseley to win so they can go into League 2 so I can actually play one more FIFA. And I really want them to win so they can get promoted for once. So the new manager's actually doing quite well for the season.
And are you both excited about today? Obviously it's a big day out for you and it's a great ground to be in.
Yeah, but the only thing is the hot dogs are £2, so it's a bit of a rip-off. £2.50, so it's a bit of a rip-off for a hot dog, but they were alright.
It's not like back at Nethermore then, is it, with the price?
No, it's a lot cheaper. Go back to Nethermore.
So to the game today anyway, what do you think? Are Guiseley going to win it?
Hopefully.
Go on, the guys around here are saying big 4-0 win, yeah? Is that what you agree with?
Yeah. A lot more 4-0 because it's better for Guiseley to win the 4-0 than them winning 4-0.
Exactly. Well, thanks for chatting with me, Elijah and Ollie, and back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks there, Tim. Fantastic. Hot dogs are a rip-off, apparently. That is very funny, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, that was great. I think it's one of those things that if we were to go get promoted up to Conference National, some of those things like ticket prices and food and concession stand prices probably end up going up anyway, but I think it's probably worth it for the ambitions of the club in the long run. But that was very sweet, wasn't it?
I mean, this is a great stadium, and obviously we've got a lot of plans pre-season. I hope that we'll be progressing irrespective of the result today. Nobody expected us to be here. I mean, is it one of those afternoons where we can just enjoy ourselves, or in your mind, is it one where it's really we've got to focus on the result and it's win or bust?
No, I don't think it's last chance saloon for Guiseley today by any means. We shouldn't have been here over the course of the season. It was a miraculous turnaround that got us into the playoffs after how the season had gone. And I know we keep saying it, but we were in the relegation places 6 months ago, as recently as the autumn. So, no, I don't think it's 4 times and bust if we weren't to go up today. I think this season is very different to everything that's come before. It's nothing like the season where we steamrolled the division and then just ran out of momentum right near the end last season. So I think what Mark's done in terms of preparing the lads as well has been very much around. It's just another game. You know, at 1:30, the team bus was just starting to park up outside the ground. They haven't stayed over. They haven't come early. Some of the lads who live locally, Michael Potts and Alex Johnson, just got themselves here in the cars as they normally would, and it's just being treated as any other game. And when you look at the experience and the talent that's in the Guiseley team, well, there was no need to make a big change to the routine or treat it like it's today or never. All of which is nice to say, but I've spent the whole week nervous and worrying about what will actually happen. And obviously, if we go up today, I'll be delighted. And if we don't, I will be as gutted as anyone.
Well, we just heard from a couple of fans there. It's a magnificent turnout from the supporters away to our right. You can really see them beginning to fill that terrace, and I'm sure that will continue because we're still a good half an hour from kick-off. But, you know, it takes you back, doesn't it? The last time we were in a promotion final, you know, it was a tough afternoon for us, and many of us who are here today will have memories of that last playoff defeat at Telford back in 2011.
Yeah, it's the one I never like to think about. I was there as a fan that day. This commentary thing has been new to me this season, and I was in that tiny little enclosure they gave us down at the New Bucks Head that day, and we didn't have a good day. It wasn't a nice place to be as a Guiseley fan. It felt like a football league atmosphere, and we were used to something much more friendly. And obviously, the way that the game went on the pitch, we went home with our bubbles well and truly burst that day, because it felt like the club was on a roll and there was unstoppable momentum, having come up from the Unibond Premier, as it was called at the time. And since then, there's been a lot of chance for the club to consolidate, and the things that have happened around the club, the community foundation and the academy that have happened in the meantime, have given us a chance to catch up with our on-field ambitions a little bit, although there's an awful lot more still to be done. And although there's a massive turnout here today, it doesn't feel to me like that day felt. It doesn't feel like a gladiatorial sort of atmosphere. Maybe that'll change as the game goes on. There'll be a big turnout, but it's not completely segregated. There's Altrincham fans and Guiseley fans sat amongst each other in the main stand here. So I'm hoping it's just going to be a proper good non-league game between two of the best footballing teams in our division, and we'll see whether the best team wins.
Yeah, and let's hope it does on that day, but an awful lot to do just yet across the course of the 90 minutes or perhaps more that we will face. And of course you can follow it all on Guiseley Radio, Guiseley AFC Radio. Thanks to Oliver Roby, who's already tweeted us, huge day for Guiseley AFC today. Wish I was there, following it on at Guiseley Radio, hoping for a good result. Oliver, thanks for your tweet. Many more of you can tweet us, give us your feedback, give us your thoughts. It's so valuable to us. We've appreciated it all season long as we've been producing the coverage of all of Guiseley's. We made it 49 games we've covered so far this season. We've been up there and trust me, it hasn't been occasions anything like as full or with the attention that we've had across all of this season as we have today. But this is a magnificent occasion for us to do. But of course not everyone can be here with us this afternoon, and so it's a big hello to all those loyal fans who are unable to make it today. And I'm also thinking of Julie Glossop and John Wadsworth, two guys who I hope are listening in, who couldn't be here today because of work commitments and other issues. And of course I really think we should spare a thought now for Michael Hill, who sadly passed away a couple of weeks ago, despite making it to the Colwyn Bay game, a huge contribution he's made across his lifetime. And as we were driving across here today, I pointed out Withenshaw football ground, and it was in 83 or 84 season that Guiseley made their first forays into the FA Vars, a competition that was going to be synonymous with success for us. And in those days, Withenshaw and Guiseley were perhaps considered to be on a par. Look at the progress being made today, and here we are with the rivals of Altrincham. So if you are tuning in, not able to get to the game, let us know on this or any thoughts, and we will get you on air and get your thoughts on air anyway. As long as they're clean, you can interact us via our Twitter handle and at Guiseley Radio. So let's now go to the team news. We've got the team news in, and it's just arrived, hot into our hands, and we have basically got the two lineups in front of us. As I'm just deviating from our running order here a little bit, much to the horror of Nick to my right. Altrincham, first of all, Stuart Coburn, Sean Densmore, the captain, Adam Griffin, Jake Malt, Gianluca Havern, Scott Leather, James Lorry, Simon Richmond, James Walshaw, Damian Reeves and Nicky Clee. That's the starting 11 for the Robins. On the bench, Tom Marshall, Matt Doughty, Greg Wilkinson, Kyle Perry and Russell Saunders. Now, the one we're really interested in, and of course confirms all the things that we've been concerned about this week, is the Guiseley lineup. So let's just get that one. Stephen Drench, Andy Holdsworth, Ben Parker, Danny Hall, Danny Ellis, Jake Lawler, Michael Potts, Ollie Johnson, Adam Boys, Alex Johnson and Gavin Rothery. Of course, no Wayne Brooksby and no Danny Boschel. On the bench, Rhys Maynell, Danny Forrest, Kyle Harrison, Kevin Holsgrove and Steve Dickinson. Nick, what do you make of that? I mean, there's obviously got to be a few changes forced upon us. How do you think we'll line up there?
There's two or three different ways he could do it, actually. I imagine Michael Potts will slot into Danny Boschel's normal role. I'm not sure defensive midfield is actually Potts' best position, but he is the one who is most likely going to be slotting into that. And looking at the players they've got going forward, there's a few options really of how they could line up. The one that would make sense to me would be to have Boys and Alex Johnson through the middle, with Gavin Rothery on the left and Ollie Johnson on the right. But there's the option of Alex Johnson can definitely go out to the left if he needs to. Ollie Johnson has been playing the number 10 role in behind, as has Gavin Rothery. So there's a few different ways they can use that as the game goes on. The place obviously we're left a slot light is on the bench for midfield. which is the problem of Jack Ray being out as well. He's I think doing some radio commentary as well today, means that with Danny Boschel being ineligible, if there are any problems, we will struggle to do anything much from the bench. I think Reece Maynell is the closest we've got to someone who can play defensive central midfield on the bench. Maybe even you would bring him on and put Ben Parker in there. I suspect Mark Bauer's hoping it doesn't come to that. On the Danny Boschel thing, though, I do think we've made the right call as a club. There's been a lot said about it, in the fans forums and on social media and all of that. I think if the deal was, even if it was a gentleman's agreement or a handshake or whatever, that Danny Boschel wouldn't play against Altrincham after he signed for us, then I think it would make us look like we weren't good for our word to include him today. So for better or for worse, stick with what you've promised, and don't play Danny Boschel today, and we'll just have to take our chances, because I have absolutely no doubt we wouldn't have been here today if that arrangement hadn't been made to allow Danny Boschel to return to Guiseley.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, isn't it? The decisions that have been taken across the course of this season have been big decisions, they've been big calls, and they've been the right calls as well. It was very difficult to part with Steve Kittrick after all the success he'd brought to us. It was then very difficult, I suppose, to put the faith in an untested and untried manager, a young man who obviously is going to have a big future in the game, in Mark Bauer, and he's been incredibly successful. And of course, making the call to bring back Danny Boschel, well, that's proven to be perhaps the most successful of all. Well, let's have a look now at what our opponents think about today's game. I think we can go back now and join our pitchside reporter, Tim Richards. He's got a guest from Altrincham who can give us their perspective.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. And I'm here before the game with Altrincham's backroom staff, Luke Pickering. And Luke, how are you feeling? How are the nerves from an Altrincham perspective?
Looking forward to it, yeah. Just want the game to start now. Should be a nice crowd and stuff in, so just want to get the game on the road now, start.
And the team obviously have had the whole week to prepare for it. How have those preparations been?
It's been good, yeah. I think everyone's just itching to go out and play now. Two tough semi-finals, so yeah, looking forward to it.
And the setup here is obviously great. It's a great ground to come to, really welcoming. It's a conference ground though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where we hope to be, don't we? That's what the plan is. That's what the plan is for today. So we don't know, do we? We've been there before. We want to be back there, so we'll see how it goes.
And obviously some big names who guys we know in this side. Are you predicting some of those players to come back and haunt us?
We hope so from our point of view, don't we? But no, there's a couple of friends of either side, Danny Hall and stuff, who've been here before, Kevin Holsgrove and so that'll be good to see both sets of lads go against each other today, yeah.
Well, cheers for the chat, Luke.
No worries. Cheers.
And back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, cheers, Tim. Thank you for that. That was one of the members of the backroom staff. I think Tim picked up the kit man there, actually. And obviously confident and hopeful. It's it's easy to forget, actually, that Altrincham have their own playoff hoodoo to purge. And last season they lost, didn't they? Brackley Town, and that will rest in their memory. They felt they had a side that was probably good enough to go up last time round. They would have met Halifax in that final, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I suspect that their experience hasn't been too different to ours. They've had a very good attacking team. They've had a very good manager. They've had a long run of success without quite getting to where they want to be. And obviously, that's very much been our experience as well. I imagine if I was on their side of it today, I'd be thinking this would be the year for us. And with the players missing from Guiseley's starting 11 today unexpectedly, this would be the time to capitalise. And so they will feel like they have unfinished business in the playoffs very much as we do.
Well, a huge cheering, a huge noise being made actually at the moment by the Guiseley fans away to our right. The rain is coming down here at Moss Lane. It's come down quite heavily for a while, but at the moment it's obviously never going to be a risk to the game at this time of the season, but still a great atmosphere building here, and two sides battling on, looking to get into that conference premier. Let's just have a quick look though beforehand at the Altrincham lineup, because we talk about the teams and players that we've kind of had shared experiences between us. In the past we've had players such as Clive Freeman, of course. That's going back some time, who scored the best goal and got a match of the day Goal of the Month award for his strike when playing for Altrincham. Then, of course, came to be assistant manager at Guiseley. So we share quite a record, but it's the players that are on the field at the moment. The two teams here and the two sets of players obviously share a lot of shared memories, in fact, of each other, and none more so than James Walshaw. He's got to be the story, hasn't he, really, from their perspective this afternoon?
Well, he said quite rightly in the press in the week that it's either Guiseley are going to have tasted disappointment 4 years running in the playoffs, or he will have, and I thought that was quite an interesting one. You know, someone is going to feel like the playoffs just aren't for them in his mind at the end of today. He's obviously hoping that he's going to have changed his own script by coming to Guiseley this season. He's going to have removed his own playoff hoodoo by coming to Altrincham. He's going to break that record that he's been on. I don't actually think he's the most the player I would be most looking at today. The one I've been wondering about all week, and maybe it's just because of the way the game went when we were here in autumn. But the one I'm looking at is James Lawrie, because when he came on in that game and played behind the strikers, and I can't remember who the strikers were they were playing that day. I think Kyle Perry might have been playing rather than Damian Reeves, actually, and Damian Reeves might have come on as a sub. But it was James Lawrie playing in behind those front two. Nobody picked him up, nobody marked him, and he was the one who caused all of the trouble in that game. So much as Damian Reeves and James Walshaw are the two headline prolific goal scorers, they're certainly not the only talent in the team, and all of that is to go ahead without mentioning Nicky Clee, who is one of the best left-sided players I've seen at this level.
Yeah, I was speaking to Brian Flynn as well, the lead here for Robbins Radio, an excellent service that they produce for Altrincham, and he was saying that one of the main things has been when they've been able to get Lawrie into a 3-4-1-2 formation with Lawrie just behind the two front men, and he was saying that one of the things has worked so well for Altrincham across the season has been switching to that formation, and that's what they did at half-time against us in that game where we lost 4-1, but they start as a 4-4-2, and he thinks Layson will do the same again today.
Well, from the way that the team's numbered, you'd expect James Lawrie playing in the number 7. It looks like he might even start out on the right wing, but of course actually Michael Potts is playing number 7 for us, and we know he's certainly not going to be playing wide right, so we'll have to wait and see how they line up to begin with. They have good defenders, definitely, the likes of Luca Haven, who's one of the most impressive centre-halves you'll see around, so they're lucky that they have the option to play a couple of very different shapes like that. We don't have quite that much, but we have some subtlety in our midfield and forward and how people line up. We're fairly sure that Adam Boyes will play up front, but behind that there's 2 or 3 different shapes that Mark could use and change to during the game, and so hopefully he will have 1 or 2 surprises to spring Altrincham's way, just like they did to us in that game.
Well, of course, they've got options on the bench. Kyle Perry, we've spoken about, we spoke about when we were coming along here. He could switch things around, be a target man, and certainly cause that threat. But for us, I mean, let's just have a quick look at that bench. And there is, like you said, he talked about the Guiseley bench with Reece Maynell being few options in terms of the opportunities to change things around in defensive midfield. But attacking-wise, we've got good substitutes in Danny Forrest and Kevin Holsgrove to come on and make a difference.
Yeah, it's a great luxury to have players like that available at this time of the season. Danny, with his trickery, and he does have a good right-footed shot on him, and if he comes on the left, we saw in Bradford Park Avenue game at their ground in the winter that he's definitely got a goal or 2 in him. Kevin Holsgrove, we know all about. He's big, he's strong, he's very, very difficult to physically play against. He's reasonably quick for a guy of his size and height, and he can take a goal with his left or right foot. Finishing is always the question with Kevin, but those are 2 great options to have on the bench. Bearing in mind we're starting with 3 strikers that any team would be happy to have in Adam Boyes, Ollie Johnson and Alex Johnson.
Well, it's obviously building up now to kick off. About 10 minutes to go till we start this game. The 2 sets of players still out there going through their final paces. You can probably hear a good amount of noise being made by the Lions away to our right, and we have still got plenty of build-up and tension to work through before this game finally gets underway. Really big shout out to everyone who's tuning in to us this afternoon. Thank you so much. You are joining us on Guiseley AFC Radio. If you want to join us or tweet us, we are taking your comments. Just tweet us at Guiseley Radio, That's our Twitter handle, and we'll be following that all the way through this afternoon's proceedings. We also have, and I hope we're going to hear from Tim if we can find him on the pitch side. Hopefully we'll have a quick last minute chat with one of the players before we get out to this afternoon's game. But they're still out there at the moment, just gearing up for this afternoon's game. Steve Dickinson just coming back in. Obviously, he did so well, didn't he, Nick, in that build-up in the 2 games against North Ferriby, and to keep them out twice and to keep them at bay was a fantastic performance from him.
Yeah, Steve can afford to feel a little bit unlucky, can't he? He can afford to feel like he's done everything he could have to earn himself a starting place. I don't think you can leave out Stephen Drench, who is, I think, the best keeper in the division. But what an extraordinary performance that Dicko produced over 2 legs for a chap in his 40s to come in and really returning to first team action. The game up at Workington, I know he had a good game, but real competitive, do or die action in the the promotion semi-finals. And to play 2 legs of football like he did in goal against such a physical team, I thought that was an extraordinary effort. And we know that if the worst should happen, and we need a substitute goalkeeper today in the promotion final, that we've got a brilliant one on the bench.
Last couple of minutes then before the teams will be starting to come up. What do you think Mark Bauer will be saying to his charges just before now?
I think he has a team of players who are very experienced and know their preparation, they know their build-up. I had a chat with 1 or 2 of the lads who arrived early before the rest of the team coach. They seemed calm and they seemed focused to me, and 1 or 2 seemed just very steely and very confident as well of their ability to put in a good performance today. I don't think Mark has an enormously difficult job on today. He's got a team of calm, experienced professionals. He's a calm, experienced professional, so he'll be telling them to go out and play their normal game, not treat it as a cup final, not treat it as anything different, because when we play normally, we play well.
Well, let's go and see if we can join Tim Richards. He should be down somewhere amongst the players' tunnel. He's just waved at me. So let's see if we can join him, Tim, if you're there.
Thanks, Colin, for that. And I'm here pitch side for the game with Ben Parker. Ben, how are the nerves?
Yeah, I'm fit.
Final between the Lions and the Robins as Guiseley take on the ultimate challenge in terms of taking on Altrincham. Well, we are just a few moments away from kick-off. Nick, do you have any expectations really this afternoon that it'll be an open game, an expansive game, or do you think it'll be fairly tense and tentative in the opening stages tonight?
Well, on paper it should be an open game. We've got 2 of the best footballing attacking teams in all of non-league football.
Us wanting to get out there and follow events all through out the year and be able to bring you whatever we can, and delighted that you've been joining us throughout the season. Of course, if you do have any comments on the commentary today, do tweet us at Guiseley Radio. And I'm delighted to say now here at Moss Lane we're joined by listeners of BCB Radio on 106.6 FM, as well as Guiseley AFC Radio via our online YouTube account. Gianluca Haven, Scott Leather, James Lorry, Simon Richmond, James Walshaw, Damian Reeves and Nicky Clee. So the former Guiseley man James Walshaw into his playoff in succession, never yet being promoted. There's a story there. One of either Guiseley or Wally will break that duck. On the bench for the home side, Tom Marshall, Matt Doughty, Greg Wilkinson, Kyle Perry and Russell Saunders. And then for the Lions, Stephen Drench, Andy Holdsworth, Ben Parker, Danny Hall, Danny Ellis, Jake Lawler, Michael Potts.
We could have a heck of a game on our hands today.
Well, the atmosphere is set, the occasion is set. The 2 sets of players are out on the field. Altrincham playing in their red and white stripes, red shorts and red socks. Guiseley are in their away kit of all yellow this afternoon. The referee today, Mr. John Brooks, calls over the two captains, Sean Densmore and Andy Holdsworth. He's going to be assisted today by Mr. Duncan Carrott, who should have no problem seeing, and Mr. James Thornhill, and then his fourth official is Daniel Meeson. We've gone downhill already, haven't we, Nick?
That's right. Well, regular listeners to youtube.com/official Guiseley AFC will be very familiar with our standard of humour. We do apologise to everybody on 106.6 FM and around the West Yorkshire area who didn't realise what they were getting themselves into.
The two sides line up. Guiseley have won the toss. They'll be kicking off, shooting from left to right. Nothing really came of it from that corner to concern the Lions.
No, and this gives us a chance to see how Guiseley are lining up. So far, it looks like a very rigid 4-4-2 from both sides. And for Guiseley, Ollie Johnson playing on the right and Gavin Rothery on the left, as we suspected. Michael Potts and Jake Lawler in the middle. And Adam Boyes and Alex Johnson, not one behind the other. They're absolutely level, playing as a front two.
Target man this time is Alex Johnson. It's bundled over. It's very slippy out on that field, so the referee decides no free kick there. And then Boyes goes in for a challenge. He catches Densmore and is furious with the referee for giving the free kick. But he has indeed.
Well, I think what he's furious about is the very obvious foul by Scott Leather on Alex Johnson. He came through from behind him and just barreled him over. No doubt that had a
ball on the halfway line and lays it into Clee. Great control from Clee. Takes it past Potts, gets the ball in towards the edge of the D, towards where James Walshaw was lurking, but headed away. And now Ollie Johnson battling to try and win the ball back. Good tackle here from Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth is pulled up for a free kick. He went in for the tackle. He got the ball. Just a risk here. The referee might do something because he went in with, I think in the end both feet were involved in the challenge. If not, it wasn't a two-footed challenge as such, was it, Nick?
No, it wasn't, and it's just a conversation. I think the referee's telling Andy Holdsworth to calm down. Andy Holdsworth, of course, one of the calmest players in the Guiseley team, so I don't think he's got too much to worry about. I don't think I've ever seen the Guiseley captain lose his head. Laurie
with a free kick now, a few yards in from the left touchline. He can send this one in towards the penalty spot, way over the target man, which was Haven in this instance, and behind for a goal kick.
Nice interplay so far, as we might have expected, between Nicky Clee and James Walshaw. Clee is, as we said, we were saying in our build-up before the game, for the benefit of our BCB listeners, I think Nicky Clee is one of the best left-sided players that I've seen in non-league. He's a real talent, and obviously we know that Wally will choose to drift out to the left if he gets the chance as well. And the two of them could be extremely dangerous if they carry on trying quick little 1-2s like they have been.
Ball sent forward from Drench. Guiseley win a throw on the left-hand side, about level with the penalty area. So this is a chance really for the Lions perhaps to have their first attacking move of the game. Throw to be taken here by Rothery. Into the feet, sorry, Parker, into the feet of Lawler. And then Lawler, heavy touch. That's a disappointing outcome there. And gives the ball back to Altrincham for a throw-in inside their right-back position.
Yeah, guys, they don't want to be conceding possession that easily. They certainly don't want to be making a habit of that in the game. They haven't had a huge amount of the ball so far.
Now Altrincham on the ball with Walshaw. Sends the ball through here. Reeves broken down here. Ellis, and he shoots and it just goes over the bar. Reeves got the better of the centre half, who was through clear on goal. Took a shot early. Tried to lob it over Stephen Drench and it's gone behind for a goal kick, and that's a let-off for the Lions.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Colin. Huge let-off. Damian Reeves one-on-one with the keeper, lofted it over. Startling how easily he beat Danny Ellis for pace there. That's a real dangerous situation that they can't allow to carry on happening.
6 minutes gone, still 0-0. Altrincham have had a very good chance though. Damian Reeves sent clear, through on goal. A very poor finish actually by his standards. And Guiseley live to go again though. Parker with the throw inside the Altrincham half, into the feet of Rothery. Sent forward by Danny Hall. Towards Alex Johnson, nobody in there. Ball's won back. Alex Johnson on the edge of the area, can't control. Picked up now by Richmond. Guiseley need to get a foothold in this game. Good tackle from Potts, but the ball still won back here by Clee rather. Clee gets the ball inside the Guiseley half, has a run at the defence, but Ben Parker steps across. And up to the halfway line, eventually Guiseley win a free kick just inside the Altrincham half. They just look so lively, don't they, Altrincham, when they're on the ball. The players like Clee and Laurie. tricky, difficult players to play against.
They do, and Guiseley are struggling to keep up with them in the midfield at the moment, and if Guiseley are going to impose themselves on the game, they're going to maybe have to make better use of their wide players than they're doing so at the moment.
Free kicks taken, floated in towards Ellis on the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away, down, taking a shot from Boys. Boys gets a deflection on the shots, behind for a corner to Guiseley.
Well, there's sort of a chance from nothing that really. The ball broke on the edge of the area. Snapshot from Adam Boys. I think it was going on target, but it was deflected nice and early, harmlessly away for a corner, and a chance for the Guiseley fans behind that goal at the Carroll Nash end to make themselves heard.
Holdsworth now with the corner. Whips this one in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Flicked on, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. It was Danny Hall who got the header. Couldn't direct it, and it's behind harmlessly for a goal kick in the end.
Honours a piece then, even one each in the set piece stakes. Certainly Altrincham have had the better of the possession so far though.
Free kick, Stuart Coburn takes it, sends it long, picked up by Potts into the feet of Ben Parker, into the feet now of Rothery. Rothery up towards Boys, tackled. Guiseley battling hard in midfield. There'll be a free kick to Altrincham if the referee decides to stop play. Ollie Johnson closes down the clearance from Griffin so well, and it bounces really awkwardly in the area. Stuart Coburn comes off his line, watches it bounce over him. It's in sort of no man's land for a minute, and eventually hoofs it away up to the halfway line, and Altrincham recover possession. And still in the ball with Richmond. Out to the left-hand side here for Griffin, who was closed down by Ollie Johnson a couple of moments ago. Now, here comes Clee. Clee comes forward for Altrincham, gets the ball into the area, across in front of both of Walshaw and Reeves, across everyone, and out for a goal kick.
Clee's just so lively, isn't he? As soon as the ball came across to him, he tried first time to go past Andy Holdsworth. He knocked it against the Guiseley captain, caught the rebound at the second attempt, put it past him, left him standing in his wake. It was a dangerous ball, but fortunately no one, fortunately from our point of view, sorry, we're trying to be non-biased, no one in a red and white shirt was able to get on the end of it.
I'm biased.
Yeah, okay.
Altrincham got a header away from the goal kick. Nodded on now by Jake Lawler. Picked up here by Alex Johnson. Johnson under tremendous pressure from Scott Leather. Forced back to the halfway line now, where Parker floats one in towards the edge of the penalty spot. Headed away. Nobody really underneath it other than Boys. And Boys was beaten to it this time by Griffin. But Griffin has had a couple of nervy touches in this opening spell. He's now hit touch with his clearance. And guys have a throw.
Yeah, under no pressure really. Skied it all the way out for a throw in and into the seated stand that we're in.
Throw in now for Guiseley, midway through the Altrincham half. Ball played into Andy Holdsworth, and Alex Johnson can't control from Holdsworth's pass. But it's now out with Ollie Johnson, who tries to beat his man Griffin. Ollie Johnson goes to the touchline, gets the cross in, but it's blocked. Guiseley have another corner though.
Yeah, nice work by Ollie Johnson on the right. He's been playing in the middle for Guiseley a lot recently, but he's shown that he's still got the winger's touch there. Knows to go outside, try and get the ball in. Won himself a corner that Andy Holdsworth is just taking.
Holdsworth with the corner, whips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away. Back to Holdsworth, who's still retained position up there. Holdsworth square now to Rothery. Rothery has a man on him, can't go past him, nutmegs him, goes into the area. Tackled though in the end, and Altrincham can come away. A little bit of invention there from Gavin Rothery. On the edge of the 18-yard box, couldn't quite complete the clearance. It's up as far as Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth floats it back in towards the edge of the D. Boys onto it, tackled by Scott Leather, and Altrincham will come away with the ball from right back with Sean Densmore, the captain, up to the halfway line. And then finally Jake Moult sends it long, looking for Densmore. He's continued his run, he's done some really good work there, and I think that's taken another unfortunate touch from Parker, and Densmore somehow crafted another corner for Altrincham from what looked like a pretty harmless position.
Yeah, that was Guiseley's first real chance to show a bit of their attacking invention in the opposition area, and unfortunately at the end of all of that, it somehow conceded a very soft corner.
The corner comes in short, into the feet here of James Lorry. Lorry's forced right back towards the corner flag with two players around him, but Altrincham crafts out an opportunity. Guiseley get a blocking tackle in from Gavin Rothery, and it bounces off an Altrincham man and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, nice work in the area by Gavin. He's got gone to the man, tackled him, and in making the clearance, done exactly what you should do, which is hammer it against the Altrincham player and out harmlessly for a goal kick for Stephen Drench to take.
So Drench with the goal kick, 0-0. If you're just joining us here on Guiseley AFC Radio and BCB this afternoon, 106.6 FM, the Lions are holding on. Altrincham have had the better chance. Reeves now with the ball on the right-hand side. Gets the ball into the area, blocked by Danny Ellis. Out for another corner, though. A third corner now for Altrincham. 2 to Guiseley. It's been open. Certainly sense this game's got goals in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the longer it carries on at 0-0, the more and more tense it will get, because the more significant the first goal becomes. And certainly with the third, as you say, corner of the game for the home team, Guiseley are feeling the pressure. That time Danny Ellis did a little bit better with Damian Reeves stood in front of him, but I am very conscious about that gap in pace we saw between the Alti striker and the Guiseley defender.
There's 4 or 5 red shirts in the box. The ball's floated into the 6-yard area, headed away, only as far as Richmond. Richmond recovers the ball for Altrincham. Back out to the right-hand side, crossed into the area tamely and picked up comfortably by Stephen Drench. As ever, Drench goes for the long clearance to try and get Alex Johnson into play. Johnson just misjudges the flight of the ball and in the end is pulled up for a handball.
Yeah, bounced very strangely in front of him, that, and I think there was probably a little bit of instinct in there, but with his arm down by his side, he kind of patted it down. Fair cop and a definite free kick.
Stretching tackle from Danny Ellis to prevent Laurie getting a ball through to Reeves. Altrincham recover the second phase, though. They're doing that so much better than Guiseley in this early spell. And then Griffin sends it long, up towards Walshaw, headed away by Ellis. Picked up now by Reeves on the edge of the area. Reeves with a little bit of space to work in, closed down sharply by Guiseley. Then a long-range shot comes in from Jake Moult. It was a firm drive from 25 yards, but was always going wide. Stephen Drench dived just to cover the post, but it was wide of the mark, and it's a goal kick.
One for the cameras a little bit, I think, that from Drench. He knew it was well wide. It hit hard and true though by Moult, and if that was on target, it would have definitely required a good stop from Drench to keep it out.
14 minutes gone, 0-0 here in the promotion final, the Skrill North promotion final, and Guiseley are trying to win ball inside the Altrincham half. Boys can't, and now it's back here with Laurie. Into the feet of Densmore. Altrincham come over the halfway line. They've got options ahead of them. The ball threaded towards Richmond. Cut out well by Jake Lawler. And now Potts inside his own half. Lays it back to Ben Parker and just has a little bit of time on the ball here. Sprays it out to the left-hand side. Looking for a crossfield ball, but I just feel that the wind caught that one. And it's come short and Altrincham come away with the ball. But Holdsworth cuts across. Threads it through towards Alex Johnson. Johnson's bundled over. It's a poor free kick to give away from Altringham's perspective. Scott Leather through the back of Johnson. Guiseley have a free kick level with the centre circle inside the Altrincham half.
Yeah, it's a good observation, Colin, the wind. We don't really feel it up at the back of the stand here. We're very well protected, but looking at the trees across the far side of the ground from where we are, it's a blustery day and it's moving around and changing direction constantly. That does provide a challenge for the players.
Holdsworth with the free kick up towards the edge of the penalty spot. Headed on now by Potts, still in the area. Nodded down by Ollie Johnson, but it's going to go through to the goalkeeper, Stuart Coburn. Half chance passes. Guys, you haven't really had a clear-cut chance. Altrincham have, in Damian Reeves being put through on goal, clean through on goal, but shot over. At the moment, Simon Richmond threads the ball forward. It's gone over everyone, and Stephen Drench just watches it. The ball doesn't roll as cleanly as he was expecting. He has to put it out into touch for a throw-in.
Yeah, we've seen a few bobbles on the pitch and a few untrue bounces in the first 15 minutes. It's adding to the challenge, and as I say that, now the rain starts to come down as well. 16 minutes gone, 0-0. Altrincham on the ball in the right flank as they attack Guiseley's goal. Laurie forced back, good shake from Guiseley, but the Robins win another throw. Midway through the Guiseley half on the right-hand side. Densmore will take. Still scoreless, good shout, good noise coming from the Guiseley fans away to our right. The ball played in towards the edge of the area, headed away by Jake Lawler, only as far as Clee. Then a shot, well, a rather ambitious shot from Laurie, which I have to say has cleared the stand behind us on the left.
and out into the gardens in the houses beyond.
Yeah, not just cleared the stand, I think that actually might have even hit the roofs of one of the houses that's about 20-30 yards behind the back perimeter of that end of the Moss Lane ground. And I tell you what, the Guiseley fans have got a challenge on now. They're making themselves heard, but they're going to have to keep singing to stay warm, because it is belting it down out there, and they are going to get very wet very quickly.
Yeah, terribly wet at the moment. Guiseley on the ball though, with Adam Boys. Boys just plays it forward into the feet of Rothery. Rothery back towards Boys. Cut out here by Jake Moult, and now the ball goes out and Guiseley have a throw. We'll just stick with it for a moment. We've got Tim on hand just to give us a view of the dugout at the moment, but Guiseley still on the ball here with Ollie Johnson. He just slipped and let the ball go through, and now here's a chance for Altrincham to come forward, but they've wasted that possession. So Tim, just let me know what your thoughts down there.
Yeah, well, it's pouring with rain down here, Colin. Everyone's trying to keep dry, but from the Guiseley point of view, everyone's itching on the Guiseley bench. They're all stood there wanting to get this goal, get a chance in. And from an Altrincham perspective, it was interesting to see the physio came out to possibly see an injury, so that would be interesting if there's an injury for Altrincham. But yeah, exciting stuff down here, and back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks Tim. Back up here, Guiseley now on the attack on the right hand side here with Ollie Johnson trying to beat his man, cuts in field, blocked, and eventually Altrincham get the ball away and out for a throw in.
Yeah, sorry Colin, I was going to say, I think that physio activity down there on the Altrincham bench was because a few minutes ago James Walshaw went down in his own area. There was a bit of potential concern for him, but as soon as he realised he wasn't getting a free kick, of course he was back on his feet and running around. So don't think we need to worry too much about Wally's health just yet.
His demise, news of his demise is premature.
Yeah, but often self-publicised. in the meantime though, genuinely Andy Holdsworth is struggling.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He seems to be running very heavily as he comes back from having made a foray forward. That would be bad news. Guiseley currently having to defend because the ball's sent forward from Griffin. Hall goes through behind Walshaw, gets a chest on it and clears, but only as far as Clee. Clee plays the ball into space all the way back onto the halfway line where Densmore will have a run. So good at running forward is Sean Densmore, the captain. Sends it infield here to Moult. Moult threads the ball through to the edge of the D. Headed away this time by Lawler. Nodded on now by Densmore. Altrincham coming forward with a little bit of intent here. They're still in possession on the right-hand side despite a Ellis touch on the ball. Picked up by James Lorry. Lorry goes back, takes a 1-2, but can't get on the end of it. And eventually the ball is helped away by Ben Parker. And Guiseley can come away with it with Ollie Johnson now, and Guiseley have a chance for a bit of a counter-attack if Andy Holdsworth can make any headway down the right flank. He's held up the ball, played it forward. It's a good one in towards Ollie Johnson. Johnson just stops his run. The header comes across from Gianluca Haver to take it away. Alex Johnson on the edge of the area takes a shot, blocked. And now it's a chance for a counter-attack for Altrincham. A long one forward here towards Reeves. Ellis gets a heavy touch on it and he's knocked it out for a corner. Kicks the air because he's furious with himself for that touch. And now Guiseley have to defend another cheaply given away corner.
Well, this is the sort of game we thought we might see. Guiseley moving quickly forward on the break. There was all sorts of indecision in the Altrincham area. Alex Johnson did his best to get a shot away with his left foot. The rebound set Altrincham up for a break. They very, very nearly let Damian Reeves in one-on-one with Stephen Drench again.
Corner to be taken on the left-hand side by James Lorry. There are 4 Altrincham players on the edge of the 6-yard box. This one's going to go in, swinger towards the goalkeeper. It does. It's headed away by Ellis, only as far as Clee. Clee picks it up once again, sends it out to the left-hand side. Good tackle from, I think it was Boys back there, defending stoutly to get the ball up to the halfway line. But Clee with a bit of trickery gets it forward up towards Damian Reeves. And it just goes beyond both Reeves and Walshaw. A super ball into the box. They couldn't get on the end of it, thankfully, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Agonising for Altrincham, that, as Nicky Clee once again making himself dangerous on the left-hand side. A very good curling cross, whipped in from a long way deep of the penalty area, but right into the most difficult area to defend, and just inches ahead of both Damian Reeves and James Walshaw, who just would have wanted the slightest of touches to put that past Drench.
Agonising afternoon of football as ever these promotion finals are.
Oh, I hate them. I really do.
Great for the neutral. Very tense affair at the moment, but Guiseley having to defend. And so far you'd have to say Altrincham have had the better of the attacking opportunities. Damian Reeves probably should have put the Robins ahead when he was clear through on goal, and on a couple of occasions good balls played over the top have just had Danny Ellis in two minds. As it is, it's still scoreless. The rain stops. Guiseley fans cheering across towards our right, keeping up good noise throughout this game. The long ball from Drench, headed away, and it's going to be another throw-in for the Lions on the halfway line.
Yeah, and this is our first chance really to draw breath so far in this first half. It's just calmed down for a second as the sun comes out, and as you say, the rain's just stopped. Of course, that means probably something exciting will happen any moment now.
Well, let's hope so, because Guiseley are on the ball. Rotherham cuts inside from the left flank. Goes back in the end, though. Because it's to Jake Lawler, and Guiseley just don't hold on to the ball. And they send it all the way back to Stephen Drench. And Walshaw closes him down. Drench is forced to make the clearance. Good work from boys to win the header. But the second phase is being picked up so well by Altrincham. Now this one bounces back, and Danny Hall has to watch it because Reeves is on him, and Hall is forced to nod it back towards the goalkeeper. And once again, Guiseley have conceded a cheap corner. Of course, you've got the pressure of Reeves, but they will be disappointed in the number of times they've been forced into hurried clearances.
Yeah, well, the only good thing you can say is that they haven't been so indecisive that they've let Reeves in through one-on-one again after that first early incident. Those are the sort of situations you expect to see the Dannies, Ellis and Hall mopping up and heading it back into Drench's arms, and it's not happening so far. The pressure of the strikers has been really hard to handle.
Corner to Altrincham again on the right hand side, whipped in up towards the edge of the 6-yard box. There's another Guiseley head on it. It'll be another Altrincham corner. The pressure mounting. Yeah, good head that time by Danny Ellis. Managed to get underneath it and use the back of his head to see it out behind safely, but of course it doesn't relieve the pressure. 0-0 here. Altrincham with another corner, whipped in towards the back post, headed up and away. This time Richmond was the man who got the ball, but he couldn't direct the header, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Do you know that passage of play there, Nick? It just seemed to be part of our own making, really. Just when we had the ball in midfield, and perhaps this is the absence of Danny Boschel there, we weren't able to hold on to it, and in the end we were forced back, and instead of looking on the front foot, we were on the back. Yeah, guys, they haven't really managed to bring the ball under control for any significant period of time in midfield so far, and with Altrincham so dangerous on the break, every one of those loose passes feels like it could create a goal scoring opportunity for the home team. Potts on the ball in the centre circle, left to Parker. Potts back on it, looking for a ball forward. Options limited, so he goes right to Holdsworth. Holdsworth down the channel. Johnson goes looking for it, but he should be unable to get hold of that, but it does well. Forces the error, and now Ollie Johnson takes over on the right flank, gets a cross in over Adam Boys. Not the delivery he'd have wanted for. Densmore comes away with it. Boys sticks to his task, wins the ball back from Densmore, gets the ball in the left hand side. Rothery goes down to the byline, gets the cross in up towards Ollie Johnson. The blocking header comes in, but in the end Ollie Johnson got too much on it, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Well, that was nice work by Adam Boys in particular. He does chase hard for a striker, and he followed the ball all the way over to his left, tracked down the Altrincham captain Densmore, forced him into the mistake, and very quickly moving it on to Gavin Rothery, making an opportunity for Ollie Johnson in the box. But of course the player you wanted in the box, Adam Boys, he couldn't be there on the end of the cross because of what he was doing wide out on the left during that move. Coburn takes the goal kick. It's won by Jake Lawler, taken forward towards Ollie Johnson. Johnson can't get that one down and under control. Andy Holdsworth gets a touch on the ball in the Guiseley half, but Guiseley keep coming forward. Walshaw to the left-hand side, looking to release Clee. Holdsworth across to cut out the danger into the feet of Ollie Johnson. And then a poor ball forward from Potts, is it? No, it's actually a good ball. It's held the touchline well and forces Scott Leather to nod that one into touch, and Guiseley have a throw-in. Thank you to Laura Harrison, who's tweeted us to say she's listening to our commentary live today. So I hope you're enjoying the game so far. Laura, sorry you couldn't make it down, but I hope we're coming across loud and clear and bringing you what is a pretty tense first half so far. Guiseley with a throw in towards Gavin Rothery. Takes a touch on Rothery's head and goes out for a goal kick in the end. Yeah, thank you all for tweeting us and following us at Guiseley Radio. If you want to interact with us this afternoon, if it's clean, we'll even read out your messages on air. So the BCB Twitter feed, I'm sure we'll get some notes on that, you can tweet BCB at BCB Radio. We're joint broadcasting this afternoon the Skrill North promotion final.
Not the playoff final.
I know, I nearly did it again.
Yeah.
It's an important brand point.
Yeah, they were very clear on that with the football conference.
The clearance from Stephen Drench has just found Adam Boys, but he couldn't get that one down. This time, guys, you have the ball here with Alex Johnson. He's got two players around him. Ollie Johnson goes looking for it. Ollie Johnson's adjudged to have fouled. I can't see that one, but Altrincham have got the free kick and come away with the ball. From left back, in with the feet of Sean Densmore. Densmore sends it long. Has he released Damian Reeves? No, he hasn't, because the offside flag is up. But you can see what the threat is all about with Damian Reeves every time he makes one of those runs. Such good timing and such good energy. And Guiseley know they've got a real threat on their hands this afternoon.
Well, a lot of it goes back to the game here in the autumn, where Guiseley played with one of the deepest defensive lines I've ever seen in a semi-professional or higher football game. And they've gone out and they've tried to line up a little bit higher up the pitch with Danny Ellis back in the team. And it just gives them the opportunity to try and get the quick straight over the centre of the crossbar.
Loose touch there from Gavin Rothery just as Guiseley are on the ball. Chance now for a counter-attack for Altrincham. Picked up now by Andy Holdsworth inside the Guiseley half. He sends it long, this time looking for Alex Johnson. He has to respond quickly mentally to this. Had a great chance to give Guiseley the lead, as has Damian Reeves. Both sides have had golden chances spurned. Guiseley now with a throw just inside their own half.
Yeah, Alex Johnson is a young player, isn't he? He's only in his early 20s, and he does have a very good mentality. He deals with a lot of roughhouse treatment because of the way he plays with his back to goal. I just hope he's shrugged that off, because if another chance comes his way, he's got to not have that one that he's missed in his mind as it comes to his feet.
Ball's up towards Alex Johnson, this time from Danny Ellis. Returned well. Damian Reeves battles for it. Walshaw takes over. Puts it through the feet of Lawler and gives it into Laurie. Laurie comes forward. Richmond takes over. Out to the right-hand side. Densmore. Altrincham coming forward with a threat here. Good ball in from Densmore. Well claimed by Stephen Drench. Good goalkeeping there as Altrincham came forward with real purpose and intent.
Yeah, and it's developing into a real end-to-end game at the moment. These guys, they're playing some good football, which they struggled to do in the early stages. Altrincham obviously still carry that goal threat, and so this is great to watch at the moment from a neutral point of view.
Potts with a rather heavy challenge there. His legs parted, didn't he, in that challenge there, and he'd had to watch out he wasn't going to go for a two-footed tackle. No word from the referee, but
yeah, it could have been a little bit messy. That I think Potts is a good player. I'm not sure that being the sort of ball-winning midfielder would necessarily suit him best, but needs must with Jack Ray and Danny Boschel both unavailable today. He's got to be careful though, as the pitch gets a bit slippery with the rain, that he doesn't throw himself into anything too rash.
The ball into the area from Clee. Guiseley defend, headed away by Boys. Up to the centre circle. Boys and Haven collide. Guiseley win the ball though. Sent towards Alex Johnson, but Leather should have enough on this to deal with it. Leather sort of slips on the slippery turf and recovers enough to keep it in play. And Gavin Rothery goes to close down with a rather acrobatic challenge, but yet Altrincham come forward with the ball. Nicky Clee on the left flank. Infield here towards Reeves. Good tackle from Ellis. Up towards the centre circle. Headed on again, this time by Molt. Ellis again equal to the challenge. Ollie Johnson with good work to take the ball away on the halfway line, but is crowded round by players. And Griffin eventually sends a good ball forward and almost releases James Walshaw. A good little dummy from Damian Reeves, but the ball goes back to Stephen Drench in the Guiseley goal.
I don't know how long he'll be able to play for the game. We're never quite sure about his fitness levels, but Ollie Johnson out on the right instead of in the centre is having to work really hard. And to be fair, he has not stopped running since the start of the game. But the amount of yards he's getting through there out wide is enormously higher than he normally would, playing in behind a lone striker. So we'll see how he does as the game goes on.
Well, let's have a quick word from Tim down on the touchline.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. Well, the rain has ceased here, which is nice. But it's still the same as on the bench. Everyone's looking really nervous. Mark is out there staring and shouting at his players to urge them on, and they were really on their feet for that chance for Alex Johnson there. But yeah, I'll come back to you soon anyway.
Guys, you now have to defend because Altrincham have come forward. The ball in towards James Walshaw, collected well by Stephen Drench, and eventually the Lions get this one away, and it's up now towards Alex Johnson, but just beyond him and out into touch. And Altrincham Just thinking that they could get the break before half-time there. 33 minutes gone and it's still scoreless. Andy Holdsworth just won the ball from Clee. Alex Johnson clearly been held back there by Leather. Nothing given on this occasion. And in the end, the ball cleared into touch. The linesman on the far side there. I think that is James Thornhill. He disagreed with the call from Alex Johnson. Guiseley have a throw in.
Referee just moving Andy Holdsworth back about 10 or 15 yards to take this throw in. I know we both need to get a cup of tea in us at half time, I reckon, Colin, you and I.
Guiseley now have the ball on the right hand side. Ollie Johnson can't beat his man. In the end, Maltz forced into an awful lot of work inside his own penalty area. The ball here with Griffin sends up towards the halfway line, taken down by Walshaw. Walshaw, 2 players on him, sends it through to Reeves. Reeves couldn't get it under control, but it was good work from the front men once again. It's out for a Guiseley throw-in, taken by Hall, back to Stephen Drench, and a good one long towards Boys. Boys' header finds only James Lorry. Guiseley now have to defend once again out here with Densmore. Densmore coming forward for the Robins as Altrincham press down that right flank once again. Good tackle there from Ben Parker, showing his class. The former Leeds man now comes away with the ball. Square here to Gavin Rothery. Rothery threads it out to the right hand side, picked up by Alex Johnson. The Lions come forward, square infield now to Potts. Potts will line up a shot if he can. He's got onto the edge of the D. 2 players on him though. Threads it in towards Alex Johnson. Johnson out to the right hand side. Holdsworth with the ball in towards the back post. Boys is waiting, but is beaten to it by Haven. And Densmore comes away, and Altrincham can counter attack. And they come over the halfway line now with James Lorry into James Walshaw. Walshaw is 30 yards from goal, takes a shot from distance, watched by Stephen Drench. He had to watch it as well because it's a slippery surface and he slipped just on the way down, but hold on to that ball comfortably in the end.
Yeah, both goal mouths very lacking in grass on the top surface, and with the rain that there's been, it is a little bit muddy in there, and Drench having to be careful. Nicky Clee making danger again on the left here. A good clearance by Danny Ellis. Nicky Clee's been one of the most impressive players on the pitch so far in this game. He really does look a live wire.
James Lorry now on the ball for Altrincham, out to the right hand side. Densmore, he's got 2 to aim for. Reeves and Walshaw, considerable pairing that is. Densmore goes in field this time, threads it into Richmond. Guiseley can't get the ball away, shot comes in, and eventually it goes over from Densmore, the captain, who would have relished that opportunity, but he fired it over the bar. But good interplay from Altrincham. Guiseley unable to stop the forward play from the Robins. In the end, it's out for a goal kick.
I think when James Walshaw came here, it wasn't immediate that they had a great partnership, he and Damian Reeves up front. I think it took a while for that to form over the season, and there was a little bit of discussion amongst the Altrincham fans, really, who should be the one who takes priority. But I tell you what, as you watch them play today, and with Lorry and Clee providing the width, they do look like they've got a really good understanding going forward, this Robins team.
Well, there's a throw into Guiseley inside their own half, level with the centre circle. It's Ben Parker to take in front of the terracing, which is pretty much full in this ground today, near to capacity, I'm sure. And guys who've done their share and taken their allocation. The Lions at the moment on the attack. Potts into the feet of Rothery. Rothery, 30 yards from goal, has a shot. It's spilled for a moment there from Coburn. He nonchalantly claims it at the second attempt, and it bounces kindly into his hand. But that just goes to show how wet this pitch is. Yeah,
and that was extraordinary, and it's not the first piece of carry-on goalkeeping Coburn's had in the first half, because he struggled with a bad bounce of a ball earlier on in the half. I tell you what, I thought for a second there he'd palmed it over his head and into his own net.
We were hoping.
Yeah, it really was.
Still goalless though.
Yeah.
8 minutes to go till the break, and at the moment, tense stalemate. Both sides have had a great chance to open the scoring. Altrincham perhaps slightly better chances overall in the final third, but Guiseley have stood firm, as have the Robins, and nobody's made the breakthrough as yet. Andy Holdsworth creeping a few yards with a throw now down the right hand side into the feet of Alex Johnson. Johnson, 2 players on him. He'd do well to get anything out of this. He can't. Altrincham recover the ball. Richmond towards Lorry. Lorry helps it over, and it's that same old pattern here of Densmore surging down the right hand side. Boys has come back to defend this. Infield now to James Walshaw. He's still 30 yards from goal. Now it's back towards Richmond, but good blocking tackle there from Potts. Potts helps it on. Alex Johnson clearly having his shirt pulled. Referee doesn't give anything. Potts can't get past Leather. Leather holds him off, but there was a good shout for a free kick, I felt there, Nick.
Well, he's been pulling his shirt the whole way there, Scott Leather of Alex Johnson. And AJ's done well, actually, sort of protesting for the free kick and continuing the run at the same time. Eventually, he's somehow managed to win a throw for the away team, but that's about as obvious a shirt tug as you're ever likely to see. Sorry, Colin.
Boys Parker infield, lays the ball towards Alex Johnson, but his control isn't there. He was shadowed that time by Gianluca Haven, and it's safely into the arms of Stuart Coburn. There's certainly a goal in either of these sides, you'd say, and the Lions at the moment, and the Robins are 0-0. Good flick on though now. Damian Reeves could get into the penalty area. He's taken away brilliantly by Danny Ellis. A super tackle from the centre half, and now Guiseley come away with the ball with Gavin Rothery over the halfway line. Rothery goes past Malt. Malt just gets a little touch on him. Rothery goes down. Free kick to Guiseley. Yeah, definite free kick. That one is a sort of a cynical one. He's taken him down while he's running at full pace. He actually looks like he might be hurt, Gavin. I think as likely as anything, he's just sort of hit the ground hard as he was brought down at high speed. But it gives Guiseley a chance to get the tall men into the area, and of course that is a place they have the advantage with the height of Jake Lawler as a midfielder. Lawler and Danny Ellis and Danny Hall all lining up towards the right-hand edge of the penalty area as we get ready for Andy Holdsworth to take it from about a third of the way into the Altrincham half, but out to the left. A lot of players committed forward here. Guiseley with 6 on the edge of the area, including Lawler, Ellis and Hall. Holdsworth with the free kick. Only Parker waits to defend any counter-attack. The ball whipped in straight to Stuart Coburn. Disappointing delivery. And in the end, Guiseley spurned the opportunity from the set piece. And Stuart Coburn just takes his time. Looks for options ahead of him. Sends it long towards Reeves. Good header there from Ben Parker. And flicked back here to Gianluca Haven. Even on the ball. That's time and space, so he opts his pass long. And Damian Reeves can't get there. Danny Hall takes a knock on the hand in the challenge. Guiseley now counter-attack. Alex Johnson battling with Leather. Gets the ball past him. And there's a big shout for handball against Griffin. Nothing given. Guiseley nod on anyway with Andy Holdsworth, and now Altrincham can come away with the ball. Alex Johnson with 2 players around him in that incident. Densmore once again coming forward down the right-hand side. Great tackle from Adam Boyd. Super tackle coming back from left midfield. Gives the ball into the feet of Gavin Rothery. This time he has a run on. Sends it to the right-hand side. Ollie Johnson collects. He's got a player ahead of him. Ollie Johnson skips past him. Goes towards the byline. Drives it across. The ball floats over the crossbar. The interception from Jake Moult. It looked like Guiseley were going to make the breakthrough. It's behind for a Guiseley corner though. Well, I wouldn't have predicted an own goal to break the deadlock in this game, but that was very nearly what we just had there. Brilliant play by Ollie Johnson again on the right. He really has looked dangerous when he's got in those positions inside the area and forcing it along the ground into the area, and it goes over the bar. Corner coming in. With the corner. Lawler with the header cleared off the line. Up here to Michael Potts. Goalkeeper and defender on the near post did their job, but Guiseley still have the ball. Ben Parker sends it long. Guiseley just sending a little bit of a message here that they too can threaten the goal. Altrincham clear up towards the centre circle. Parker nodding it long and easy for Leather to clear. Jake Lawler goes for a header in midfield. Can't win it. Players both just either through nerves or surface, unable to control the ball. It goes back to Stephen Drench. He sends it up towards Gavin Rothery. A header out, and Altrincham strain to keep that one in. They do well, and it's a tricky one. Damian Reeves has half a sniff of it, but it goes beyond him and into the hands of Stephen Drench. Still watching Danny Hall. He's I don't know whether it's a finger or whether it's his right wrist, but it's certainly in a little bit of pain, and that's not an injury that's going to bring a player off at a game like this, but it might play on the defender's mind, and he has to work really hard to concentrate while he's in there and not think too much about this knock he's taken. Altrincham now just slowing things down, have the ball in the right back position with Densmore. Send it up towards Walshaw. Good shadowing from Jake Lawler, pressuring and harrying the former Guiseley man. Though Walshaw does come away with it on this right hand side, cuts in field into the feet of Richmond. Richmond's got Walshaw if he can find the return pass. In the end goes back, and it's a chance here for Laurie to get the ball into the area. Slip from Ellis, almost in for Reeves. Ellis tried to clear, slipped at the crucial time, and Reeves was almost presented with a gilt-edged chance, but it's been cleared. Picked up now by Leather. into the feet of Griffin. Griffin sends it long over the head of Walshaw, this time towards Reeves. Guiseley still defending hard. Michael Potts is beaten to it though by Richmond. Out to the right hand side, Laurie gets it in. Good interception from Potts. He was perhaps too soft on the ball before, but the second challenge certainly was strong enough. Comes away now with Gavin Rothery over the centre circle. Now into Altringham's territory. He keeps on running, goes past one, goes past two, gives it out to Boys on the left hand side. Boys takes a shot, deflection, easy for Coburn. Good counter-attacking movement there from Guiseley, but Rothery and Boys just couldn't apply a final finish to that.
Yeah, and Gavin's looked most dangerous so far when he's drifted into midfield off of that left flank. At the moment, Michael Potts is the leftmost of the Guiseley midfielders, and Gavin has pulled in field a little bit more. And he had all sorts of space again to run at the Altrincham midfield and defence there. It was only a little bit of a slip by Adam Boys as he tried to turn on the edge of the area on the soft top surface that's broken that move up for Guiseley.
Altrincham now with the ball, send it long towards Walshaw, headed away, but the home side keep pressing here with Griffin on the halfway line into the feet of Clee. Nicky Clee now with a bit of space to run into. Good interception from Michael Potts. Potts has a few options ahead of him though, very few. Gives a good run on the ball, and the ball to Ollie Johnson, who can't take the ball with him. Does recover it, sends it out to the right hand side, but Gavin Rothery takes over. A man up against him is Nicky Clee. Gets the ball into the edge of the 6-yard box. Alex Johnson was just a little bit too far away from it in the end. Rothery shakes his head. He knew he put a dangerous ball in there, but Johnson didn't attack that front post, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a clear tactic that by Guiseley. Gavin Rothery and Ollie Johnson switched flanks as we see the board going up for 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. Rothery and Ollie Johnson switched flanks. It's the first time we've seen Gavin over on the right, and getting a really good ball in right into just inside the 6-yard box, the most dangerous zone, that so-called corridor of uncertainty. And it was uncertain, but nobody got a touch on it at all.
Just a minute left of stoppages, so Guiseley try to get the ball forward. Well blocked down by Reeves. Such a tense first half. Two good chances, one for each side. It's, at the moment the Lions have a throw-in inside their own half with Ben Parker. As people start to make their way for the half-time cup of tea, given the crowds that there are here. There'll be quite a few queues. Guys, at the moment you're not missing anything, just working their way down the left-hand side of the pitch, but only winning a couple of throw-ins. Ben Parker now with the throw for Guiseley. Into the feet of Rothery. Referee blows the half-time whistle and calls end to what's been a very tense and nervy first 45 of what's been an entertaining game, don't get me wrong. Both sides have had their chances. The best perhaps for Altrincham's Damian Reeves. He was sent clear early on in the game, but fired over when he only had the goalkeeper to beat, and then after great work from Ollie Johnson, a ball slipped through to Alex Johnson in the edge of the 6-yard box, but he got his head over the ball and blasted it over the bar, and unfortunately for the Lions couldn't make it count. But at half-time here, it's goalless, it's stalemate, it's Altrincham 0, Guiseley 0.
And it was a great half of football as a neutral to watch. Not so much fun as a Guiseley or an Altrincham fan, because we both sets of fans saw their team play some great football and undone at the back as well. Neither to the effect of a goal being converted just yet, but everything has been
I mean, you've got to say for the first half an hour, Altrincham were clearly creating more chances, and they were getting more clear-cut chances. But as the half's gone on, especially in the last 15 minutes, Ollie Johnson, Gavin Rothery, they've started to try and dictate the play, get possession, and try and keep the ball and make more of it. And at the end of the day, for Guiseley now, I think you've got to say that first half an hour, Altrincham, they really will be ruining that half an hour if they don't win this game, because they dominated that half an hour with the chances. But Guiseley survived, and now you never know. Let's see if Guiseley can get that crucial goal.
As you say, it did take Guiseley just a little while to get into the game, and I haven't been proved right, it's fair to say. But there's another 45 minutes of football, open attacking football as well. We've seen that sides in this first half.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Guiseley, especially that last 15 minutes, they started to open up. Gavin Rothery I've got to say this: the Altrincham defence were giving Rothery so much room and space. I don't really know why, because Rothery will punish them lapses of concentration in the Altrincham defence. Ollie Johnson, good little bit of movement there, and I think with Alex Johnson missing that chance, really the first chance of Guiseley, if Alex Johnson was in form and hadn't had that injury, I think he'd have buried that, and it would be 1-0 Guiseley to exploit the area. And with Walshaw and Reeves, it really is a case you don't want to give either of them any space, but the midfield as well, so it's so tricky. But yeah, they've kept Walshaw at bay during that first half.
What do you reckon, the two gaffers, Lee Sinnott for Altrincham, Mark Bauer for Guiseley, what do you reckon they'll be saying at half time?
Well, it's interesting because I think they'll both be quite positive. Fine, it's 0-0, but both have been creating chances, and both goalkeepers haven't really had a massive save to make yet. I think it's more been a case of chances being missed than either keeper.
But a couple of close chances themselves. How do you assess the half so far?
Yeah, first of all, I'll just get my breath. Quite a bit of running today, so it's good for my fitness anyway. But yeah, it's...
You'll be getting a call up soon.
Let's hope so. But no, to be honest, I don't think I'd get in the side. I think Guiseley are playing really well. I think it's a really solid first half. They've had a few moments moments where you think it's a bit worrying, but I'd say Guiseley have had more of the dangerous chances, to be honest. Ollie Johnson's looked so lively coming in on this right-hand side, teasing those defenders, and to be frank, beating them so easily. He comes in, slips past his man, and cuts it across. And to be honest, you've got to expect Alex Johnson, if he gets another one of his chances, he's got to finish it. That would be a third one missed, and you just feel he's got to get on the end of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, me and Tom were just saying before you came up and joined us that a match fit Alex Johnson that's been playing regularly, you'd expect to bury that chance that he got in the first half.
Yeah, you do, and I suppose that plays a part in it. We were speaking beforehand that possibly AJ, when Guiseley played Altrincham back at home and he got that late equaliser, he was at that time scoring goals for fun, and you just hope that it was that Alex Johnson there today and he would have buried those chances. But on the other hand, he's coming back into some form at the moment, coming back into fitness, and I don't want to predict anything because I'll be wrong, but I'm just hoping that Alex Johnson can get it in the back of the net and give Guiseley that lead.
Are we thinking so far, lads, from both of you, this half so far, that Ollie Johnson has been the best outlet from Guiseley's perspective, because he has caused a bit of havoc down this right-hand side?
Yeah, and it's fantastic to see Ollie Johnson, someone who, of course, has played at a League One level. The injuries took their toll on him, but just during the last few games, he really has shown that quality. He started getting a few more minutes on the pitch. The confidence is high. I don't think he's ever really going to last 90 minutes.
Absolutely instrumental, it has to be said, in that first leg as well of the semi against North Ferriby.
Yeah, I don't think he'll last 90 minutes today, but I do think you get 70 minutes out of him. He causes problems. And again, the ease in which he got into the penalty area on two separate occasions, he really has shown that Altrincham do have a defensive flaw.
What do we reckon, Tim? Ollie Johnson, the best outlet so far?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And to be honest, before the game, I think we were all worrying who would fill that gap that Wayne Brooksby plays in the side. And he's been a massive player this season, and we were all gutted to hear about his injury that he suffered against North Ferriby. But
let's face it, if they get that same amount of chances, they're bound to bury one. Puts all the pressure on Guiseley to find a goal themselves.
Yeah, I think when you look at Altrincham's attacking pair, they've scored so many goals during the last two seasons. They really are, a fantastic striking outlet. But you've got to say that they have missed their chances. Guiseley are in a position now where they can try and take it. They can try and take advantage of that and take comfort from the fact that Reeves and Walshaw have both not found their scoring boots today. I've got to say, Kevin Holsgrove, looking at him now, he's taken his tracksuit bottoms off and has got his shorts on, so you never know, he might be coming on sooner rather than later.
And of course, Holsgrove, a man that has great strength, has a great ability to hold the ball up as well and bring others into play. Again, an outlet that Guiseley would welcome, because when they have had the ball forward, it's all been on Ollie Johnson and Rothery to get the ball held up. Holsgrove would offer something different. The Guiseley players coming back out now at the moment here at Moss Lane. They'll be shooting towards the Altrincham end. Of course, they're going to have the 750 Guiseley fans that made the journey over. Going to pressure you now for a quick score prediction before we hand back to Colin, Nick. As it stands, Tom, no goalless at the break. You'd said 1-0 before. Where's your prediction now?
Well, I said 1-0 before. Michael Potts getting the goal. I'm going to stick with that. Let's hope I'm right.
Absolutely. Well, we'll hand back now to our commentary team here on Guiseley AFC Radio and on BCB 106.6 FM of Nick Keefe and first, Colin Robertson.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tim. As we just get ourselves back into position up here in the press box. Not surprising.
They've had some indecision at the back, which is to be expected given the quality of attacking talent that's on display. This next 45, and if it comes to it, extra time, even penalties will decide who deserves that spot in the Conference Premier for the next season.
At the moment, we're underway, and Altrincham are on the attack. Ball down the left flank, but Potts has come across and bounced the ball off Nicky Clee and out for a throw in to Guiseley. And good turnout of Guiseley fans are in the uncovered terrace to our right. And they are, of course, enjoying the fact that the rain has stopped for a little while. Can they enjoy some more now? Alex Johnson is on the ball, skips past one man, tries to cut in field, slips up. To be fair, I thought he slipped, but the referee has given a free kick to Guiseley. In a good position this for us.
Yeah, it didn't immediately look like a foul to me, either that, but gives us a chance to get some tall men onto the edge of the area. Once again, the three big men, Ellis, Hall and Lawler, all lining up at the back post, looking to attack the ball as it comes across from wide out on the right. And today's set-piece taker with Wayne Brooksby out is the captain, Andy Holdsworth.
The free kick about to be taken. Referee John Brooks just getting the wall back. Or the man back before this ball comes in. It's whipped in towards the edge of the penalty spot. Flicked on. Daniel Ellis at the back post. Takes a shot. Well saved by the goalkeeper. A good finish from Ellis, but a good save equally from Stuart Coburn. And now Guiseley come very close to breaking the deadlock. They now have to watch as Damian Reeves charges up the other end and closes down Stephen Drench as the ball goes all the way up the other part of the park. But the Lions very close to getting the opener in this second half.
Yeah, it was really well touched on by Adam Boys in the area. Fell to the feet of Danny Ellis, who hammered it as hard as he could, and Coburn had to get everything behind it.
Densmore forward now for Altrincham. Gets the ball into the area. Good header from Danny Ellis. Up towards the edge of the D. Altrincham retain it. This time, good work here from Laurie. Onto the edge of the area where James Walshaw takes a shot. A spin and a volley with the left foot. Always rising, just goes over the bar, but a dangerous effort nonetheless.
Yeah, classic James Walshaw that. He's so dangerous. He's always been very sharp with his shooting, and he can pick the ball up with his back to goal, and in one fluid movement like that, spin and volley, all in the same motion, just over the bar.
Goalless, but this second half has been absolutely superb, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place to be at the moment, this ground. In fact, I think there's so many people in the ground here that there's a little bit of congestion on the mobile phone networks. If we're glitching on youtube.com/official Guiseley AFC, then that will be why, as there's so many people in here. We haven't been able to get on anything on our phones at half-time. It shows you how many people are in the ground compared to a normal Saturday turnout.
Scott Leather now just put the ball into touch. Guiseley will have a throw-in. Jake Lawler sends it into the feet of Ollie Johnson. Johnson with two players on him, can't go forward. Ball takes a bounce off Altrincham man, and they can come away with it. Send it down that left-hand side. Damian Reeves goes searching for it. Danny Hall is up against Reeves. Reeves has got the better of him, but he can't keep it in touch. And Guiseley get the throw in their own right-back position. What a moment that was a few seconds ago for Danny Ellis. Just found himself free at the back post as the ball fell kindly for him. Hit it sweetly, but well saved by Stuart Coburn.
Yeah, I think perhaps you'd say if it was a striker in that situation, they'd have tried to slot it low and somewhere difficult for the keeper to get to. But honestly, Ellis's shot was very good, and it was a good save from Coburn.
Walshaw goes to ground. Big shout for a free kick. Referee says nothing. Griffin sends it out to the left-hand side, and Nicky Clee gets the ball into the area, looking for Reeves, cut out by Danny Hall. Finds Ollie Johnson inside his own half, takes it past Griffin onto the halfway line. Johnson's not got anyone ahead of him other than Alex Johnson, and in the end, his ball forward is cut out, and sent into the stands by Scott Leather.
Yeah, I think that was deliberate by Ollie Johnson. He knew Alex wouldn't get onto it as such, but that it would force the sweeping clearance out of play, and it just gives the Lions a bit more possession. They get to restart with a throw-in halfway into the Altrincham half.
Gavin Rothery takes over, sends it back to Danny Ellis. Ellis sends it long, looking for Boys or Alex Johnson, neither are able to get on the end of it. Altrincham come away with it. Nicky Clee sends it long, looking for Damian Reeves, who ploughs a furrow down the left channel, forces Danny Hall to play the ball out into touch, and it's a throw-in for Altrincham on the left-hand side. Clee takes over now for the home side. Bit of trickery, gets into the edge of the area, plays the ball brilliantly into the area to try and James Walshaw. Walshaw's free, and the ball's in the back of the net. James Lorry has scored, and it was good work there from Nicky Clee. Found James Walshaw, and Lorry puts it in the back of the net, and it's Altrincham 1, Guiseley 0.
I think I said at the start of the game, James Lorry was the danger man for me. He's drifted in off the right, he's got himself free in the box. He was the extra man inside the 6-yard area, and he's tucked it away with absolutely no difficulty, leaving Stephen Drench flat on his heels.
Well, another tough afternoon beckons for the Lions in playoffs. This promotion final has seen Altrincham take the lead on 50 minutes. James Lorry has scored, and Michael Potts chivies his team along as before taking the kick-off. In the last 2 times the teams have played at this ground, the team that scored first went on to lose. The Lions took the lead earlier on this season, and Altrincham took the lead here last season. Last season we won 3-1. Earlier this season they won 4-1.
Does lightning strike the same place 3 times though? That's the question.
I don't know.
And I was about to say, you know, Guiseley have been using the width of Ollie Johnson and of Gavin Rothery, but Ollie Johnson in particular well. What they haven't been able to do is show their normal composure in midfield, and we're not going to bang on about the odd missing player here or there, but I think it's fair to say that the Lions haven't had as much of the possession in midfield as they would normally with the 4-2-3-1 shape. Michael Potts' tendency is to keep on breaking forward from midfield, and Jake is in there working very, very hard as we speak with an awful lot to do. But at the moment, guys, they haven't been at their absolute best, and they've got a bit of work to do to try and get themselves back into this game.
Danny Forrest just jogging up and down on the touchline. We'll get the thoughts of Tim later on. At the moment, though, it is 1-0 to Altrincham, and Guiseley stuck in their own half, trying to throw it down the right-hand side. The Lions trailing by a goal to 0 to that James Lorry strike on 50 minutes. That's the difference between these two sides, and Mark Bauer will watch from the touchline, joined by Danny Boschel, who no doubt he would love to have on the field at the moment. The long ball forward up towards Alex Johnson from the free kick, dealt with comfortably this time by Altrincham, and then sent down the left channel and finds James Walshaw free of Danny Ellis. Goes towards the area, Ellis catches him up, Ellis goes to ground, stops the ball going out, goalkeeper comes out, but it's already gone out of touch, and the referee awards Guiseley a goal kick.
Great shepherding actually that by Danny Ellis. He knows that he's not quite as quick as James Walshaw, but did what he had to prevent conceding a corner. Is that a flare or a smoke bomb going off in the far side of the ground? I hope there's no silliness over there. I'm sure it's just harmless fun.
Guiseley now struggling to get hold of the ball. Altrincham onto it once again with Lorry, the goal scorer, into Densmore, the captain, sends it in towards Damian Reeves, and Stephen Drench is quick off his line and claims that one well, sends it up towards Alex Johnson, but it doesn't stick with Alex Johnson this afternoon, and it goes over him and straight into the hands of Stuart Coburn.
No, he struggled a little bit today as Alex Johnson, not really got into the game as he normally would. He's trying to play with his back to goal, but he's not as quick as one or two of the players he's running up against when he's asked to get in behind. And as we see Luca Haven striding forward and taking command up against Johnson as we speak. At the moment, with Holsgrove and Danny Forrest warming up on the touchline, I wouldn't be surprised if Mark chooses to make a change either to the lineup or to the shape before too long.
Ollie Johnson, good little bit of trickery here. He is tackled on the ground by James Lorry, who looked like he might have needed to use his hands, and then Michael Potts with a late challenge here on Nicky Clee. The referee's going to his pocket and Potts is called over, and around the ground there's a big shout of off. I think this will be a yellow card. Clee's on the ground and looks hurt, and the referee calls Potts over, and that will surely be the first booking of the game.
Yeah, it was a late challenge from Potts. We mentioned earlier in the game that not always those sliding challenges are at his strength. It's definitely a yellow card, deservedly going into the book, and physio just coming on to have a look at Nicky Clee at the moment. Guiseley are in a really difficult situation now, because if they push men forward with the way that Reeves and Walshaw have already been getting in behind them as the game goes on, I only think it's going to get more dangerous for them with the way they're having to push men forward. Yeah, well, I think Tim is down the touchline. Give us some news on I think we might be having a change here, Tim.
Yeah, sorry there, Colin. Down here it looks like Danny Forrest is coming on. We'll just see who's he's going to replace. But for the on the pitch anyway, it's an Altrincham man who's receiving some heavy treatment here after that challenge from Potts, and it looks like it's going to be Forrest on for Alex Johnson here. But anyway, we'll leave that to you guys back up here in the studio.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. As you rightly say, the scoreboard has now come up, and the substitute board's come up, and it is going to be Forrest on for Johnson. Alex Johnson had that chance in the first half. He is coming off the field disappointed, head down. Martin Stringfellow and Mark Bauer both ready to welcome him and congratulate him for his contribution.
Potts has to drop deeper now. I don't think he's received the signal actually. He's well ahead of Jake Lawler. Now Danny Forrest with Adam Boys, the lone striker up front. That the shape that has served Guiseley so well throughout their great run. They try a change in fortunes in this game as they're 1-0 down with, about 34 minutes of the game.
Throw in again for the home side, level with the 6-yard box on that left flank. This is a difficult period for the Lions, and Guiseley half at the moment. Throw in to be taken by Adam Griffin into the feet of James Walshaw, tackled by Ollie Johnson. Still, they crowd round the ball and win it back, and Altrincham come down this left hand side, get the ball in towards James Walshaw. Good blocking tackle in the end again. One of those wicked deflections that have plagued Guiseley all day, and it's bounced off Danny Ellis and it's gone behind for another corner kick to Altrincham.
Yeah, as you say, Colin, chaotic set of deflections on the edge of the area. Corner conceded. Guiseley players trying to G one another up. Everybody except for Ollie Johnson back inside their own area. 21 players in the Guiseley half.
Corner comes in, punched away by Stephen Drench, picked up by Clee on the edge of the area, made a recovery from that earlier incident, or challenge by Potts, but his shot is poor and it's gone high and behind for a goal kick.
Sorry, I feel like a deflating balloon here, Colin. I know you want me to say something insightful there, but I can't imagine how the players raise themselves after the hard work that they've put in. And I'm watching Danny Hall and I'm watching Ben Parker and Danny Ellis all trying to communicate to the team, come on, keep going, we can get back into this. But from up here, this is an awful a bit of viewing at the moment, because Guiseley are under the caution, 1-0 down and struggling to get out of their own half.
They're just struggling to get onto the ball. Jake Lawler battling to try and win it back in midfield. Does well, but unfortunate challenge on him. There's another player down for the moment from an Altrincham perspective. It's Damian Reeves, who's taken a bit of a knock, but he's okay. Guiseley will take a free kick inside their own half, and it's this sort of set piece that the Lions will need to use to their advantage. Stephen Drench comes out. It's about level with the edge of the centre circle. 5-6 players on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's up towards Jake Lawler, headed away. This time James Walshaw at the heart of the defensive work. Tackle from Michael Potts, takes it away from Clee, keeps it in possession, plays it in field, but it's cut out. And the Robins clear up to the halfway line. Guiseley can retain the ball though with Jake Lawler, but he's under pressure from Damian Reeves. Good touch from Danny Hall, gives it to Gavin Rothery on the halfway line. Plenty of work to do yet to get into the final third. Ollie Johnson can play it out here to Ben Parker, and Parker has a run forward. Danny Forrest gets his first touch of the ball, cuts in field and gives it to Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson now 30 yards from goal with a captain to beat. He's forced back, gives it to Potts. Potts plays it well out to the right-hand side where Holdsworth tries to cross in. Well blocked, actually. And guys, he just can't get the final ball into the area. Ball forward now to Potts. Still in possession, the Lions. Holdsworth under pressure from James Walshaw, who puts in a good tackle. And it's a throw to Guiseley. It's taken quickly. Everyone now in the Altrincham half for a spell. But Guiseley not making any threat in that final third at the moment. Lawler. Patient stuff from the Lions. Holdsworth finds Potts. Potts tries to turn past Leather. Leather gets a good tackle in on him. It bounces off Potts and it goes behind for a goal kick. And it was good work there from Scott Leather and good invention there from Michael Potts.
Yeah, good period of possession for Guiseley, but ultimately well marshalled by the Altrincham back four and midfield. So although Guiseley have been on the ball for a little bit more and shown that they can move it around with a little bit more composure than they did in the earlier part of the game, ultimately not getting anywhere dangerous with it at the moment.
Stuart Coburn takes the goal kick. Don't forget, if you've got any thoughts on what's happening, you can tweet us at Guiseley Radio or at BCB Radio. We're on both channels this afternoon here. Our usual service, now going out jointly with BCB Radio this afternoon for a special. Ollie Johnson now having a tremendous run on the ball. Super tackle comes in on him by Leather. Johnson just needed to find someone to release the ball to, but couldn't find the pass, and now Altrincham come away with it. James Walshaw goes through. Great tackle from Andy Holdsworth to take the ball away from him. If Walshaw had attacked that with a bit more vehemence, I'm sure Guiseley would have been in a bit more trouble. Danny Ellis's touch is a little bit heavy in the clearance, and it skies up into the air. Nodded on now by Damian Reeves, looking to release James Walshaw. Again, good covering work from Andy Holdsworth, gives the ball back to Stephen Drench. Drench outfield here to Forrest. Forrest turns his man, now on the halfway line, sends it infield. Good ball to Gavin Rothery. Rothery with a bit of a run, goes forward, two players around him, take the ball off him. It's all too easy at the moment for Altrincham to win the ball back when Guiseley tried to break into that final third. The ball upfield to the halfway line, and Clee can't keep that one in, and Guiseley win a throw on the halfway line. But since that Danny Ellis chance, I don't think Guiseley have really been in this match, to be fair.
No, at the moment it's largely been all hands to the pumps trying to defend, and they know they can't push too far forward because they've got Altrincham have got the beating of the Guiseley defenders for pace.
Ball picked up now by Ben Parker even. Ben Parker plays the ball infield to Adam Boyes. I'll tell you why I said that in a minute. Gavin Rothery has the ball, sends it out left here to Parker. Parker infield to Potts. Potts into the feet of Gavin Rothery. Rothery with a little ball in, tries to release Jake Lawler. Lawler goes for the challenge. There's a half-hearted claim for a foul. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. And just thanks to Grace Drench, our very own WAG. Listen to BCB Radio. Come on, Guiseley, please. Wish I was there. Thanks, Grace. Wish we were bringing you better news at the moment. Certainly Stephen Drench has been in fine form, and nothing to do with that goal that Guiseley have conceded. It was a well-crafted goal from Altrincham. The Lions battering at the door now here with Gavin Rothery as they've upped their game a little bit in the last couple of minutes. Danny Forrest now out on the touchline on the left-hand side. Three players on him. He needs an option, needs to do something with it. He tries to go past Densmore. Densmore works hard to muscle him off the ball, and very good defending from the Altrincham captain. Forrest shown a narrow channel, and the door was shut in his face.
Yeah, great defensive work that by Densmore. He knows that Danny Forrest is always looking to get in and onto his right foot. Didn't give him the opportunity to do that. And saw him outside, and eventually, like you say, just too much strength for Forrest. Managed to win the ball, keep it in play and clear it all himself. Really good work by the Altrincham captain.
Yeah, I used to play football with a lad called Lee Parker, and for some reason I get them mentally mixed up, Ben and Lee.
Okay, so does he go in the draw with Connor Hobson?
Yeah, definitely. But Lee Parker was a good footballer. He played one game for Bradford City.
Okay.
And then played football at my level, which was quite a come down for him.
I would imagine so.
He didn't play left back though. Guys who have the ball in their own half. I'm trying to alleviate the mood for a moment.
Oh.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Stephen Drench with a good clearance up towards Adam Boyes, who we haven't seen much of Boise at the moment. And in the end, the nod down from Boyes finds Laurie. Laurie will orchestrate something else. He's got his goal. He's got the Altrincham side rocking. And a bit of an uncharacteristic poor pass there from the Robins, and Guiseley have a throw-in on the halfway line, much to the groans of the home fans. Andy Holdsworth looking for options, gives it to Rothery. Holdsworth picks it up, sends it down the right flank, looking for Ollie Johnson. Still trailing by a goal to nil here, Guiseley. Altrincham in the ascendancy, and look sharp when they go forward, as they've done all game. Laurie now tries to send it through towards James Walshaw. Walshaw up against Holdsworth. Gets the ball back to Laurie. Laurie now on the left flank has an option to get this ball into the area. Threads it through here. The ball back towards Walshaw. It's cleared eventually by Andy Holdsworth. Picked up by Griffin, the second phase with Altrincham. They're looking for that second. The ball whipped in. Danny Ellis with a good header to take it away. Holdsworth completes the clearance on the edge of the 18-yard box. Won again by Jake Moult. Moult under pressure from Rothery. Finds a good ball into Clee. Guiseley clear. It's just not sticking at the moment though, and Guiseley can't get the ball away for any length of time, and Altrincham come forward again. Nicky Clee cuts in field, gets past Andy Holdsworth, takes it past Potts into Walshaw on the left flank. Walshaw has got Ellis up with him. Good ball from Walshaw towards Reeves. Cut out well by Parker. Headed out for a throw into Altrincham, and the home fans really get behind their side now.
Yeah, the Altrincham fans smelling blood. They know if they were to get a second, that at this stage of the game it would all but seal the outcome.
Altrincham take the throw short into the feet of Griffin. Griffin up towards Clee. Clee under pressure from Potts. Potts wins the ball back and eventually wins Guiseley's throw. Good work there from Potts.
I've got to do a few quick shout outs now before we get to Glum. So hello to, we've got some people listening to us in Belgium today. Dave Curry, the head of youth development, the academy, has asked me to give them a shout out. So welcome to Bjorn and those guys listening to us over on the continent. Also BC AFC Lee, whose tweet we'll come to in just a moment.
Yeah, Altrincham just on the ball here with Clee. He's forced back actually, just as the chance seemed to be developing down that left flank. Jake Moult holding on to it. Altrincham don't need to attack now with a goal to the good. Guiseley win the ball back, and now it's a chance for the Lions to maybe craft out something, but it's sniffed out so easily. And at the moment, Altrincham are on top and looking pretty comfortable. Stephen Drench sends it long up towards Adam Boys or Gavin Rothery. It's won back. Guiseley defend and pick up the ball with Hall. Now Holdsworth down the right channel. Only one man up there to chase for it, Adam Boys. Boys up against Leather. Leather wins that battle. And in left back position, Griffin gets it. Is blocked down well though. And Rothery gives it to Boys, gets it back into Ollie Johnson now on the edge of the 18-yard box. Too many players around him. Altrincham defending in numbers once again. Rothery with a shot. It bounces off two players, and it'll be easy for Moult to clear this time. Better invention though from Guiseley. The ball up to the halfway line. Ellis controls, gives it to Holdsworth. Still chance to get this one forward. Potts knocks it down to Ollie Johnson. Johnson, if he can keep this one moving. He's got Rothery on the right hand side. Rothery up against Griffin and Clee. Sends it back to Holdsworth. Holdsworth delivers this one up towards the back post. Boys is there. He can't get on to the end of it. Forrest takes over inside the penalty area. Goes past one, takes a shot, takes a deflection. Guiseley have a corner.
Well, I wondered whether Danny Forrest was ever going to take a shot there, but it turned out he knew what he was doing. He kept it at his feet. He was waiting to pick out the perfect opportunity, and it was a deflection off the defender who was closing him down to see it out for a corner. Andy Holdsworth will take it now.
Holdsworth with the corner on the right hand side. Guys, you have the big men up again. This time lurking on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's floated in. Up it goes. Lawler with the header. It's there! Jake Lawler has nodded the ball into the back of the net. And Guiseley are level. It's Altrincham 1, Guiseley 1.
Absolutely everything to play for. We've said Guiseley have struggled in the midfield today. That means you have to take advantages of the set pieces that you get. With the three tall men Guiseley have got, they've managed to get one available in the area. It was the defensive midfielder Jake Lawler headed it into the far post, and it's 1-1 and everything's to play for in the last 20 minutes of this game.
It's back on. The Lions have got the goal back, and it's now level pegging once again. Altrincham set out to attack from the kick-off, and Laurie tries to thread it through the feet of Michael Potts. And Ollie Johnson is bundled over on the halfway line. Guys, you have a free kick.
I think they've incorrectly in the ground given that goal to Michael Potts, who's about 1.5 foot too short to have taken the header that put it into the net. So we'll keep that with Jake Lawler for now, I think.
It was clearly Lawler. I'm just looking around at Chris and Tom, who were nodding furiously.
Well, we're all baffled by the announcement, but no harm done. 1-1 it is, everything to play for.
Stephen Drench with a free kick on the halfway line, sends it long, it bounces in over the back line. Danny Ellis is up there. Now here's a chance on the counter for Damian Reeves. Comes over the halfway line. He's got Laurie if he can find him. Good work here from Gavin Rothery to work back. Guys, you have to get players back in number. And Altrincham just hold it up. Take it to the halfway line. Take it to the centre circle, rather. Spray the ball out to the right-hand side. Headed away by Hall. Picked up now by Forrest. Forrest, who was pivotal in the build-up to the corner. Who won the corner. Now gives it infield here to Potts. Guys, the attack at this Altrincham defender. Poor ball from Potts. Disappointing because Gavin Rothery was on the right-hand side in oceans of space. He just hits it a little bit far ahead of him and it's gone out for a throw-in.
It was awful, that ball from Michael Potts. Let's call it as it is. That was a real killer because Guiseley looked like they had a chance to come on the break. They're in the ascendancy and they can't afford to shoot themselves in the foot if they make an opportunity to get forward like that, because opportunities have been scarce for them since half-time.
Ball forward now from Ben Parker up towards Potts. He'll never win that aerial challenge with leather. It's up to the edge of the centre circle. Great work from Jake Lawler. Tackles Walshaw. Threads a ball through. Boys is just going to have to keep this in play. He can. It bounces out of the goalkeeper's arms. There's a scramble in the 6-yard box and it goes out for a corner kick. All came from brilliant tackle and interception there from Jake Lawler.
Well, Jake Lawler has imposed himself on the game in the last 5 minutes. In midfield, in the area. Guiseley have another corner now. Everybody tall forward and in the box, hoping to get another chance like the one they just had.
Corner now for Andy Holdsworth. He floats this one in into a similar territory. Up they go. Everyone into the box in the air. Eventually a shot comes in from Adam Boys, spinning with his back to goal and sends it over for a goal kick.
Right, look, I better get these shout-outs out of the way before I forget about them. BCB AFC Lee, so I'm guessing he is a Bradford City fan. So shout-out, please. Big well done to Guiseley's under-12s in the Burley Tournament quarter-final and semi-finalists today. Cookridge Hall Golf Club, great coverage thanks to Guiseley Radio, Cookridge Golf Club, huddled around the iPad apparently. I'm a member up at the Cookridge Hall gym, so I know the golf club very well there. And they're gathered around listening to us live on YouTube. Guys, I hope we're coming through loud and clear because this one is going to get really exciting in the last 15 minutes or so.
Ball goes up now. Danny Ellis heads away. Up towards Michael Potts. Altrincham have won it back now. Picked up here by Laurie. Some distance from goal. Potts up on him. The ball sent in field now. And Jake Moult takes over. Gives it to Griffin. Griffin gets a firm shot from distance. It bounces off a Guiseley foot. Good tackle here from Laurie. Wins it back on the edge of the 18-yard box. Tackle comes in from Ollie Johnson. Guiseley just have to fight and force this one out. Eventually Ben Parker clears against the body of Sean Densmore and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Well, it's scrambles in both areas at the moment. It's hard to keep up with. The Guiseley fans making themselves heard brilliantly. And I think, Tim, there's a change being made down on the touchline this time. It's a big change, isn't it, Tim, for Altrincham?
It is, yeah. It's Altrincham's number 16, Kyle Perry, coming on in place of James Walshaw. Wally is going off, so his afternoon is over. So interesting change, and we'll see what happens here. Just a word as well. What a response that was, and what an atmosphere it was down by the touchline when that goal went in. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tim. Back underway here with Kyle Perry on. He's certainly a big threat. So let's not take that as any sign for the positive. Kyle Perry, one who can come up with a big goal at the big time. Guiseley need to be on their mettle now with the ball played back to Stephen Drench. Sent up towards Danny Forrest. He nods on. Looks for Adam Boys. Cleared now as Alti break down the Guiseley attack once again. Up to the halfway line. Danny Forrest takes over. Cuts in field. Beats one man. He's on the edge of the centre circle. Goes for a little bit of a run. Is tackled. And Leather steps across to win it. And I think that's one of the first offsides I've seen all afternoon. There's an offside flag against the returning Damian Reeves. And Guiseley can take that free kick.
Yeah, Damian Reeves has played the line really well today. He's got in behind Guiseley several times, both in the first and the second half, and they've not had a huge amount of luck trapping him offside. Now, Kyle Perry, by any definition, he is a big lad, and I tell you, James Walshaw looked despondent as he came off the pitch. You know he wanted to make it his game today.
Stephen Drench with the free kick. It's up into the area, claimed by Stuart Coburn after a nod on.
Yeah, I don't think we should underestimate. I mean, Wally, I'm sure, saw the script in the stars for him today. The playing against Guiseley, we saw the way he played against us with his hat-trick earlier in the season. He would have hoped to make a similar impression on the game today. It hasn't worked out. He's not played badly, but it hasn't worked out that way for him today. He'll be desperately disappointed that it wasn't his name in the headlines. Kyle Perry now poses a completely different threat. Now guys, they have to worry not just about the pace of Reeves, but of the height and the strength of Perry.
Guys are playing with a little bit more confidence than they were in the opening period of that second half. But no need to jinx it like that, is there? Because no sooner do I say so, the ball goes out towards Gavin Rothery and he takes a heavy touch and Altrincham come forward. Ellis gets a good firm head on it. Pitch seems to be slippy and difficult to play on for both sides. We had such a lot of rain. That's no criticism of this surface or of this ground, but such a lot of rain this morning. Guys, who now win the ball back. It's out to the right-hand side where Gavin Rothery. He's got two players on him. Cuts infield, gives it to Potts. Potts is some distance from goal, gives it to Ollie Johnson on the edge of the D. Johnson with a shot, takes a deflection. Referee gives a corner.
Well, I'm not 100% that was a corner. It looked like a scuff shot from Adam Boys, and some of the Altrincham players seem to agree. Hard to see a little bit. We've got a great big pillar in the way here. Anyway, guys, they have the corner. They have looked dangerous with corners from over on their right. The outswinger from Andy Holdsworth's right boot. So let's see what they can conjure up this time.
The corner comes in from Holdsworth up towards the penalty spot. Danny Ellis is up for it. Perry wins that one using his height and his power to good effect. Back now here to Holdsworth though on the right hand side. This time a poor cross in and it's cut out. Guys, he win up the second phase though with Gavin Rothery. Good tackle though comes in on him from Nicky Clee. Couldn't get the ball under control. Now a counter-attack opportunity. James Lorry comes forward. Andy Holdsworth gets across him. Blocks the challenge. Sends it down the right hand side. Altrincham with the ball at their feet. Griffin now in his left back position. Scoops it up towards Richmond. Richmond over the halfway lines. Cuts it infield. Perry and Richmond combine brilliantly. Richmond's free down the left hand side. Reeves, if he can find him, is in the area. Reeves gets it. Back to goal. Tackle comes in. Then Perry comes through. Sends it into the feet of Stephen Drench. A super stop and block there from the Guiseley goalkeeper, but Altrincham still have the ball here. Perry into the penalty area, back to goal, gets the cross once again. Ellis with a header, picked up on the edge of the D. Finally, hoofed away by Gavin Rothery up to the halfway line.
They can hoof it, they can hoof it, they can do what they like as long as they get it away. Real dangerous situation for Guiseley there. Surprised Altrincham didn't finish it off to make it 2-1.
Altrincham still pressing. They're still in possession. They sense blood here once again. Guiseley playing deep into their own half. A long one forward looking to release a lorry, but Stephen Drench will intercept that. And can Guiseley get the second? Can they get the second goal that would put them 2-1 up here? Or will it be another heartbreak? Will Altrincham grab the winner in this game? There's something of a tension around this ground since Guiseley got back on to level pegging. And now Ollie Johnson has the ball in the final third. Gianluca Haven up against him. Jake Lawler tries to thread the ball through, but a good tackle there from Jake Moulton. It's out for a Guiseley throw.
And with 12 minutes of the game, of normal time in this game left, could go to added time, extra time even if it stays 1-1. Couple more shout outs. William Cundall listening to our coverage intently. Thanks for the mention, Will. At Guiseley Radio on Twitter. Also Dom Robinson listening to the match. Sounds like it's going well, he says. Come on Guiseley, it's going better than it was, but I tell you what, we're hearts in mouths up here. But thanks for getting in touch, lads, and I hope we're bringing you the excitement and the tension of it.
Ollie Johnson now tries to thread the ball through to Adam Boys. Nicky Clee will watch that one out.
All sorts of new words being invented today, aren't there?
I tell you what, it's the nerves, isn't it? It's the nerves as you go to the last 10 minutes.
Well, he didn't quite get the thrall boo there, but he wasn't far off.
As you might have guessed, we're not pros.
Really?
I suppose you guessed that one from about 20 seconds in the afternoon's broadcast, but I'll take anything. 10 minutes to go. One each. Very, very tense here at Moss Lane. Both sides with so much to gain and so much to rue after a fantastic season for both these two sides, really. Potts now gives the ball to Jake Lawler on the halfway line. He sends it out to the right-hand side where Andy Holdsworth chests it into the feet of Gavin Rothery. Guiseley with Rothery, not going very far, into the feet of Potts. Potts takes a heavy touch on it, gives it to Clee. Good tackle gone in by Holdsworth. And in the end, Altrincham come away with it now with Laurie coming over the centre circle. Into the feet of Perry, who had a wonderful chance to make it 2-1 a few moments ago. Into Richmond. Richmond up towards Damian Reeves. Muscled off the ball by Danny Ellis. Clearance only goes as far as Malt. Adam Boys with a lot of work to try and stop Altrincham recovering the ball, but they do. In the end, Jake Lawler steps across to intercept. Now Geyser can counter-attack themselves. Gavin Rothery on the right-hand side, just over the halfway line. A lot of bodies ahead of him, though. Into Boys. Boys takes it down well, but he's well beaten to it this time by Densmore. Densmore clears up to the halfway line. Parker wins the ball. Damian Reeves hurrying back and putting in a good shift there to get the ball away from Parker defensively, but Geyser recover possession. And on the halfway line, with Andy Holdsworth, he's got the opportunity to send this long, or into the feet of Gavin Rothery, as he prefers, on the right-hand side. Shaped up for one, did the other. Jake Lawler threads it in towards Michael Potts. Potts is beaten to it. He goes down under the challenge, and then there's a slip by Lawler, and in come Altrincham once again. Richmond's got opportunities to give the ball to Clee. Clee runs past one player, goes towards him. Andy Holdsworth with a magnificent challenge holds him up, but it's picked up now by Perry on the left-hand side. Gets the cross in towards Reeves. Good header from Ben Parker to take it away from Reeves, who certainly would have scored had he been able to get onto the end of that. Picked up now again, Adam Griffin down the left flank. Altrincham really pressing here. Good header from Danny Ellis to get it away, only as far as Malt. Jake Malt will send this one back into the penalty area as Altrincham turn the screw. The ball up towards the penalty spot, and Damian Reeves headed away by Hall. Picked up here by Michael Potts. Good tackle comes in eventually, and Geysley get it away with Lawler and Potts, who combine well. Potts sends it into Ollie Johnson. Johnson takes a difficult touch first ball, and it gets away from him, and Gianluca Haven recovers as the Robins press once again. Haven finds Clee. Clee goes through and goal. Reeves is one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Stephen Drench comes out and does a brilliant sweeping job. Kept out of going out into touch by Forrest, and then Boys robs Haven, but the ball's just not going to stay in touch. Good work there from Adam Boys and Danny Forrest actually to keep the ball live after seconds earlier. Reeves almost got through and got past the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Drench has to be so quick off his line in those situations, and he is very quick off his line, and he just got himself out to the edge of his area and able to just spoon it away up the pitch. It's getting more and more tense, Colin. I'm struggling here.
Me too. And now Laurie comes through. He's just taken advantage of a slip into the penalty area. Good tackle from Danny Ellis to take it away from him just before he pressed the trigger. And Geysley now defending deep, and when they come forward, pressing hard. Now Danny Forrest down the left-hand side, having a run up against Densmore. Cuts in field onto the right foot. Takes a shot from distance. Difficult for Coburn to deal with. It was one of those pile drivers that Forrest tries. Didn't have the pace or the power that he would have liked on that one. But no, good idea, isn't it?
Sorry, Colin. Yeah, that was the exact position that he was scoring from against Bradford Park Avenue at the Horsefall earlier in the season. And on his right foot and in space, he can produce a moment of magic from distance. That time, I think the ground a little bit soft under his left foot, and he just didn't quite have the footing that he wanted to get everything behind it.
Into the feet now of Gavin Rothery. Guys, he come forward again. Rothery's not able to get past Adam Griffin. Good tackle from Griffin. Throw into the Lions. 6 minutes to go of normal time.
Yeah, we might make this it for shout-outs. Thanks to Hayley and to Kelsey getting in touch. Fans of other clubs listening to us today, hoping we'll get the winner. We hope so too. Thank you.
Rothery into the feet of Lawler. Square now to Parker. Parker over the halfway line. Cuts in, beats Laurie. Goes towards the edge of the D. Square now to Lawler. Lawler with some distance from goal. Poor ball from Lawler at a poor time. Gives the ball away. Perry can counter-attack now. Down through towards Damian Reeves. Stephen Drench does the sweeper roll so well once again and clears into touch for a throw-in. But Geysley with a bit of steam there at one end and a little slip, and they're almost caught out at the other.
Yeah, that's how finely poised it is. And of course it's going to be at 1-1, and with so little of the game left, a goal at this point would leave the opposition with very little time to reply. Tim, I think there's another change happening down on the bench, maybe even a double change this time. 2 players coming on.
Yeah, Nick, you're right. It is a double change with Holsgrove and Maynell coming on. So 2 different men coming on in different positions. And it's coming off is Danny Forrest actually being replaced, who came on interestingly there. So Forrest comes off, and it's also going to be Ollie Johnson, who's had a fantastic game today, you've got to say. So round of applause from all over the ground for him. But the 2 changes there made for Guiseley in 2 different positions. So back to you guys.
I'm just wondering whether Tim might have picked up that there was obviously an injury to Danny Forrest, but an injury to Ollie Johnson. I wondered whether they might have just kept him going for the last 6 minutes.
Yeah, well, neither of those changes hugely surprising in terms of fitness and injuries and history. I think Danny hurt himself taking the shot. As I say, his left foot didn't quite plant in the ground. I think he pulled something as he was having a go a few minutes ago. Ollie Johnson, we never expect him to do 90 minutes. He's done well to get this far.
Guiseley battling on the halfway line, up against it once again. They've had to ring in the changes with injuries and ineligibilities, and it's also played itself out on the pitch today with Danny Forrest now having to make way after being on the pitch for such a short time.
Yeah, and it's Reece Maynell who's slotted into the defensive midfield setting alongside Jake Lawler. Potts has gone forward in behind Adam Boys in the number 10 role. Gavin's gone to the right. Holsgrove on the left.
Ball comes in here now for Altrincham. A long one up to Perry. Nodded down towards Reeves. Sorry, Nick.
No, it's all right. I was enjoying watching our formation, trying to ignore the fact that we were nearly conceding a goal at the other end.
Holsgrove gets his first touch of the ball with his head as he flicks on. It's no one going to collect that one. But the return ball now gives Holsgrove a run down this left flank. He's up against Densmore though. Holsgrove, the fresh legs. Cuts out towards the touchline. Can he create something here? Goes through the legs of Densmore but can't get the second ball. They defend it well. And now Perry goes through clean on goal. Can Andy Holdsworth stop him? He's in front of him. Great tackle from the captain. Takes the ball away from Perry, who's never going to attack that goal with pace, but Holdsworth had to time his challenge to perfection, and he did.
Yeah, and he knew he was going to take the hit from Kyle Perry. He had to be brave, stand there, timed it perfectly, and then Perry barrelling into him. He will have felt that, Andy Holdsworth.
My man of the match so far from a Guiseley perspective, Andy Holdsworth. He's put some super tackles in.
Yeah, he's had a great game, and it's been very, very difficult at the back for Danny Ellis and Danny Hall with the pace of Reeves in particular. And Andy Holdsworth, he's obviously carrying an injury. He has been since the first half, has been getting himself across and making those interventions and covering clearances and tackles really well.
A innocuous challenge on the halfway line, a high foot, and Guiseley have to defend a free kick now. Once again, everybody forward for Altrincham as they look to press hard and get the winner in normal time. Guiseley hold out though, get it up towards the feet of Kevin Holsgrove on the centre circle. No one ahead of him except for old red shirts. Runs and is inevitably tackled, but it's picked up now by Parker. Parker can't thread the ball down that left flank because Scott Leather gets a good blocking challenge in on him. Guiseley survive. Boys can't control it because he slips. Then the ball gets in the way by the referee. Referee tackles the Altrincham defender, and now Guiseley can come away with it. Good ball in here to Potts. Potts is in the penalty area. Can he get past his man? He twists past him, gets a shot away. No pace on the shot. Comfortably collected by Stuart Coburn, and I imagine that Altrincham fans would have been furious at the referee if had that resulted in a goal.
Yeah, that would have been one of those that would be very unjust from an Altrincham point of view. The referee sort of spooning it into the Guiseley player's path.
Now Altrincham come forward. Damian Reeves just has the ball taken away from him by Parker. Full of running, doesn't give up, chases down Drench. Drench clears, but still Altrincham come forward. Still they have the ball in towards Perry. Perry beats his man. Ellis is bundled over. Ellis is now pulled up. He's claiming he's had his shirt pulled, and Ellis is now going to go into the book here, and I'm not sure. I can't really make it head and a tail of what's happened there, but Perry and Ellis are both claiming they were both the aggrieved party.
I'll be honest, that was directly behind the pillar as we sit looking at the corner of the area. Very, very difficult for me to see what happened. Both sets of fans absolutely certain that the other man was at fault. And Danny's on a yellow card now. He needs to be very, very careful. Damian Reeves will be trying to get up against him for pace between now and the end of the game. That's, of course, assuming that Altrincham don't score from what is an extremely dangerous free kick.
It's about a yard outside of the 18-yard box. on the left angle of the penalty area. 3 added minutes to be added on here. Altrincham have a great chance to score here though with this free kick. The wall brought back the full 10 yards. It feels a bit like Telford. Altrincham lining up this free kick. Stephen Drench in goal. The ball floated over. Drench palms it away. A good save at the near post, but it's at the expense of a corner. And or a throw-in rather. I think it might even have gone out for a throw rather than the corner, but again Stephen Drench called into action as Altrincham press.
Guys, they just have to hold out. There's about 2 and a bit minutes of stoppage time. They've got to not concede here.
The ball whipped into the area, flicked on by Perry, claimed by Stephen Drench. Guys, if nobody forward, Drench plays it up towards Holsgrove, but that's just going to return possession to the Robins. The ball somehow stays in. Holsgrove keeps onto it, gets past Haven. Haven pulls him back, and then the referee stops play. Surely he's going to put Haven into the book, but Holsgrove had a sniff of a chance in the penalty area. Should he play to the advantage there?
Well, from a Guiseley point of view, that's an outrageous challenge, and from an Altrincham point of view, Haven was doing exactly what he had to do. He could not afford to let Holsgrove get past him and into the area there. He's taken one for the team and gone into the book. Now, if Guiseley were to score from here, much as when the ball was in a set-piece position at the other end just a moment ago, if Guiseley were to score here, it would leave Altrincham almost no time to reply.
Unbelievably, the roles have been reversed, and Guiseley now have the free kick deep into stoppage time here. It's a dangerous position. It's nowhere near as dangerous as the other free kick because it's out on the left-hand side. It's about level with the 6-yard box. It's equidistant between the edge of the penalty area and the touchline. Holdsworth takes it, whipped it in, headed away, and the chance passes, but it will go to Gavin Rothery, who can return it, but he blasts it against Laurie. Laurie will chase it. Rothery should get there first. Sends it all the way back to Stephen Drench. Guiseley recover possession, but that was always the danger from the free kick, that they could be caught in the counter-attack. Fortunately, it didn't happen that time. 2 minutes and 10 seconds of stoppage played. 50 seconds of added time left. Altrincham in possession inside their own half now. The ball up to the halfway line with Richmond. Richmond sends it out towards Densmore. Densmore, another player who, for me, has been absolutely outstanding again this afternoon for Altrincham, and been a real threat, the captain. Infield here, and it's picked up by Clee. Can Altrincham press and grab the heart-wrenching winner here, because they've got the ball on the left-hand side? They're going to try and skip round Gavin Rothery. Rothery's holding on to it, and Guiseley earn a goal kick rather. Gavin Rothery stuck to his task really well down by that corner flag. There's a bit of a claim that it might have bounced off Rothery, but it's a goal kick nonetheless.
And I make that 48 minutes of play in this second half. I make that the end of the added time. As Stephen Drench gets ready to take the goal kick, surely that must be the end of the regulation 90 minutes, and we're going into nail-biting extra time.
Well, 4,600 I think was the attendance.
Wow.
Roughly. What a turnout from Altrincham fans and from Guiseley fans as well. The full-time whistle goes, and wouldn't you know it, we have another 30 minutes at least to go. It's going to be absolutely tense at full-time here, after James Laurie had given Altrincham the lead on 15 minutes and Jake Lawler headed home from a corner. It's full-time of regulation time. Altrincham 1, Guiseley 1, and we're going to have another 30 minutes. Let's get the thoughts. Thank you, Chris. Oh, the referee's just blown the whistle. We're about to get back underway here, and we're just in a bit of a tangle, so we just need to reclaim our positions before I can say anything even vaguely sensible. Not that I've said too many things that are even vaguely sensible this afternoon so far. That such has been the nerves.
Sensible's overrated, Colin.
But we have a big half hour coming back in the histories of these two clubs. One team will be out on top, and one team will be facing another season in the Skrill North in this Skrill North promotion final. Into extra time. It is 1 each here at Moss Lane between Altrincham and Guiseley. The referee's about to get us underway for the first part of this extra period. Guiseley are now shooting from left to right towards a goal they were attacking in that first half. All square once again, And we're going to be going sometime longer here at Moss Lane as about that. But the only ones that count are the ones that go in. And that's one each at the moment. Holdsworth with a good challenge. Altrincham pick it up with Griffin. Onto the left-hand side. Laurie. Infield now to Perry. Perry. The ball sticks to his feet so well for a big man. Goes past Holdsworth. Goes down.
Ordinary. The Altrincham fans are laughing at that decision in the stand here. He basically...
This is a dangerous position as well. Level with the penalty area on the left-hand side. A few yards in from the touchline. The by Laurie. Referee blows to get the game back underway. The ball goes in towards that back post. Headed away up to Rothery, who puts a foot out. Stops the clearance, and then there's a slip from Malt, and Holsgrove wins the ball off him. Takes it up to the halfway line. Good tackle back by Malt. And I'm surprised at that one as well. The referees decided that was a free kick, and guys get a rather easy free kick on the halfway line. But good work there from Kevin Holsgrove nonetheless.
Well, look, Colin, whatever happens in the next half hour, when we are setting doing this today, so we've thoroughly enjoyed it. Whatever comes next, we may or may not enjoy. But let's see what Guiseley can make from this free kick.
Holdsworth with a free kick. Sends it towards the edge of the area. Danny Ellis with a flick on. Headed up in the air. Nobody's on the end of this one. Potts was shaping up to try and volley that, or scissor kick it. Back to Holsgrove. Poor ball in from Holsgrove. And yet, it's still almost Fox's Stuart Coburn who watches it, dip very late, and then just pushes it over the crossbar. And I'm sure that's not what Kevin Holsgrove intended.
No, but we'll take it. The goal came from a corner. We've looked dangerous from corners. We have the very slight height advantage. I mean, Altrincham have some tall centre-backs, but we just have that extra man with Jake Lawler. And this time, all three of them again lining up at the back post. An in-swinger, won't it be, from Andy Holdsworth?
Holdsworth with the corner from the left-hand side as Guiseley attack this goal. Whipped in towards the 6-yard box. Headed away once again. Gavin Rothery has to chase this one against Laurie. Gets a good tackle in on it. It looked like it took a last touch off Laurie, and Rothery's claiming that. This time, though, the throw goes Altrincham's way in their right-back position, and the pressure has gone. 3 minutes of stoppage time gone. 93rd minute of this game. Extra time even, not stoppage time. If you're just joining us, we are into extra time here on this joint broadcast between Guiseley AFC Radio and BCB on 106.6 FM. We've been enjoying your tweets and your follow so far this afternoon at Guiseley Radio or at BCB Radio. Altrincham now come forward here with Nicky Clee. Infield, threads the ball through towards Reeves. Cut out this time. Rothery helps it up. Not towards the halfway line, picked up again. This time by Griffin. Griffin down the left flank. Won by Richmond. Richmond has Holdsworth to beat. Holdsworth holds him up once again. Altrincham win a throw-in though. On the left flank as they attack the Guiseley goal, and up comes Adam Griffin to take. Tough 30 minutes to come. Griffin takes the throw, gets it back from Clee, gets a good cross into the area. Stephen Drench underneath it, claims it well under pressure from Kyle Perry and Damian Reeves. Both looking to get on the end of that cross, but Drench climbs well and plucks the ball out of the air.
Yeah, really good take by Drench, one of the players who seems to not have been fazed by nerves or the occasion at all today. One or two Guiseley players that made a nervous or anxious start to the game, but he's been confident throughout.
Very cool-headed. Now gives the ball here to Kevin Holsgrove. Holsgrove holding on to it, not making much purpose with his run. Sends it back here to Parker. Parker comes forward, threads it towards Adam Boys, but it's cut out. Guiseley win it back here with Rhys Maynell, whose name I haven't said too much of, and then Jake Lawler loses out to Damian Reeves. Guiseley now with the backs against the wall. Reeves is the target man. Perry then dummies to let the ball go over him. Gavin Rothery striving back but can't get there. The ball played into the area. Perry the target man, and once again the cool Stephen Drench claims the ball away from Kyle Perry, and the danger passes.
Yeah, it was another super take by the Guiseley keeper, but watching Rothery trying to get back there, he's not got a huge amount left in the tank, has he? And I imagine he's not the only one out there, either for Guiseley or Altrincham, feeling a bit tired at this stage.
Potts on the left flank now for Guiseley. Cuts in field. Still some distance from goal. Only Boys and Holsgrove ahead of him. Good ball into Boys. Potts goes for the return. Can't keep that one in though. And it's gone out for a goal kick. But Guiseley applaud the endeavour of Michael Potts. And it's been a long time since Michael Potts has played 90 minutes, let alone 90 plus an extra 30.
Absolutely, and I do think the position he's playing in now, further forward behind Adam Boys, suits him better actually to his talents. You know, he has to work a little bit on his defensive tackling and kind of marking. I think perhaps he's a very young player still, but he does look a lot more effective in a more advanced position.
Now, guys, you just have to watch as the ball comes over the back line once again. Danny Ellis gets that one away, only as far as Altringham's back line, though, so Haven can bring that forward. On a yellow card, Haven and Ellis, after 2 challenges in the dying moments of the normal time of this game. Good work now from Altrincham in the middle of the park. Picked up here by Clee, has a run. Maynell shadows him, but it's picked up from distance. A shot comes in from 30 yards out, and it bounces off the top of the crossbar. Stephen Drench was beaten. It was Kyle Perry. It was a super strike from distance. The woodwork is rattled, but Guiseley escape.
It was an absolute rocket, came from nowhere. Shows that the Guiseley can't afford to leave anybody in space, even 35 yards out at this stage in the game. But with tired legs and a heavy pitch, gaps will start to open up. And the substitute Perry, who's not been on long there, unleashed an absolute rocket, another 6 or 8 inches lower down, and that would have beaten Drench and gone in the back of the net.
It could be no fault Stephen Drench. He was in the right place, to be fair. It was just a thunderous shot from distance. Holdsworth now up against Perry once again. Perry's just an immovable force at the moment. Ellis stops this run in this instance and eventually forces it out into touch. But there's again pressure, and the home fans are getting behind the Robins as Guiseley try to defend. Deep in their own half. Ball with Malt into Griffin, headed away by Holdsworth. Potts goes chasing, Malt takes over into the feet of Leather. Leather under pressure from Boys, sends it down the left flank, and it's retained by Griffin. And then well worked down here to try and release Perry. Perry muscles Ellis off the ball. The ball's played into the edge of the 6-yard box, and Guiseley get the ball away with Hall. And now Guiseley with a sniff of a slight chance of a counter-attack, which is snuffed out quite quickly. And Altrincham now beginning to turn the screw and beginning to have the concerted pressure in this game. And it's that man, Perry. This time he goes down under the challenge of Danny Ellis. He couldn't do that dive with any finesse, really, could he? So
no, he
wasn't look very impressive.
He wasn't ripping Danny Ellis's shirt on the previous move with any finesse either. He nearly ripped it in 2. Don't know why the referee didn't give it.
Good movement here from Guiseley, though. Gavin Rothery down the right flank has a run at the fullback. Fullback gets a touch on it. Surely it'll be a corner to Guiseley. Referee gives a goal kick.
Just need to take a moment to breathe here. Just heard that Dover have come through the other playoff final today. Thanks to Tim for that, who's just sent that through.
So one of these sides will have White Cliffs to look forward to. Let's hope that it's Guiseley. Although at the moment the wind is up Alty sails, and the Robins pressing once again. Long one towards Reeves, headed away by Hall. Into the feet of Potts. The ball bounces awkwardly, bounces off his hand, and a free kick's given. Potts looks up in the air, he's frustrated with that. It's difficult really for the referee in that circumstance. He's controlled it with his hand. It's no intent though, I don't think.
No, I think it bobbled off the ground badly and onto Potts' hand. The problem was it gave Guiseley possession that they shouldn't have otherwise had, so the referee has to give the free kick.
Laurie with the ball into the area once again, claimed by Stephen Drench. Drench tries to play this one swiftly up towards Kevin Holsgrove. Holsgrove, just a sniff of a chance to get past the defender, but unfortunately the angle, the way the ball was travelling, meant that it's gone out into touch for a throw-in to Altrincham. 10-minute mark has passed in extra time, a third of the way through extra time. I think the general groans is please not penalties, but penalties are better than defeat, and at the moment Guiseley have the ball with Jake Lawler. Infield here to Rhys Maynell, some distance from goal. Maynell threads it into Boys. Good one too. Maynell goes past his man to the left hand side, gets the ball into the area, flicked on by Holsgrove. It's going to be well cleared by Gianluca Haven. Acrobatic stuff from him, and a good clearance up to the halfway line. Maynell takes over, plays the ball with the outside of the boot towards Boys. Boys hasn't had too much attacking opportunities this afternoon. Worked hard though. Gavin Rothery takes over, gives it out here to Holdsworth. Guiseley now with the option to play it into the body of Clee, and Holdsworth takes the throw.
As the sun comes out, we can see there are some tired, wet players out on the pitch. There's heroic performances being put in by both teams in this game. And a group of fans are going to leave heartbroken in the next half hour.
Flick on there from Boys, looking to release Potts, but the ball has gone out for a goal kick.
You can see as they line up both teams of players, a lot of people willing themselves on, that they're tired and they've played on a heavy pitch and they've given it everything. Both players, both sets of players, you can see them urging themselves to keep going for a little bit longer.
Perry's proving himself to be a difficult one. Gives the ball into Laurie. Reeves is into the area, goes to ground. A shout for a penalty, but not a chance really. But a half chance there for Altrincham to get past Danny Ellis, and now they come forward again. Clee beaten to it this time by Andy Holdsworth, up to the halfway line. Molt sends it down the left channel once again. It bounces off Nicky Clee after Andy Holdsworth makes the headed clearance. Up to the halfway line now. Michael Potts holds the ball up well. Let's go to Tim and see what he's got to say. I think we might be having another change in here in the sides.
Yeah, it's a change for Altrincham. Tom Marshall, who was sent to warm up late in the period of normal time, has come on in extra time in replace of Adam Griffin. So a straight swap there for Altrincham, and he goes straight into defence for the Robins. Back to you.
Thanks, Tim. Tension down there, tension up here in the back of this main stand at Moss Lane. One apiece. 13 minutes gone of extra time, and if you've just tuned in here, we're into extra time of the Skrill North promotion final between Altrincham and Guiseley on Guiseley AFC Radio and BCB 106.6 FM. The ball forward up towards Adam Boys. Nobody on the end of it. It's up now and picked up here by Potts. And now Rhys Maynell goes forward. He's pulled back and earns a free kick inside the centre circle. Chance here for Guiseley to get the big men forward. Perhaps just have a set-piece opportunity before the turnaround.
I'm struggling a bit now, Colin, I won't lie.
Keep going, Nick. You've been doing a sterling job.
This is all a bit too much. We've been here before so many times, and it's been such an extraordinary season, but it would be heartbreaking to come so close.
Holdsworth with the free kick, floats it in towards the back post, gone over everyone and out for a goal kick. Holsgrove's complaining. I'm not sure if that's directed at the ball or the referee. I have a feeling it might be the pass, because it was not really of the calibre that we were hoping for.
And look, whether it's the great turnout from the home fans here or the extraordinary turnout from Guiseley, where there are more Guiseley fans here today than there were in total in the ground at the start of the season for both sides. I mean, that is a heck of a turnout today.
Just goes to show the latent support, doesn't it, for the club?
It does, and the area can support another club. It's just, can the club get to where it wants to be?
Michael Potts has just been tugged back. There's going to be a free kick. And Mark Bauer down there on the bench is having a furious shout at the fourth official there. The fourth official, Daniel Meeson. But he had a clear tug on his shirt though, Nick.
Yeah, well, he did, and you don't see Mark animated like that all that very often. I mean, he stood next to Danny Boschel today, who's got his arms folded and staying very calm. He's obviously getting used to the assistant manager role.
Holdsworth with the free kick this time up towards the back post. Nodded on by Lawler. Adam Boys follows the ball through, but Stuart Coburn just gets there ahead of him. 20 seconds of this first half, plus whatever the referee might add on. Fourth official just down there telling Danny Boschel and Mark Bauer to calm down. I think they thought that was a yellow card, but nothing to it at the moment. Headed back here from Jake Lawler. Gives the ball to Stephen Drench. And by my reckoning, that's the first 15 done and dusted. And the referee agrees. We'll have a quick turnaround here, a quick drink, and then we'll be back underway. We have a huge 15 minutes of football and potentially penalty kicks yet coming. It's going to be a mistake, isn't it? It's going to be a bit of brilliance. It's going to be something that's going to separate these two sides the next 15 minutes.
I don't know anymore. I can't.
If you could see Nick's face, I mean, talk about beetroot. I mean, it's like a hairy beetroot right now. And the tension, I mean, you've got to palpably feel it amongst these 4,000-5,000 people that are here. some of them are actually leaving over in the far side. People with places to go, things to do. Can't imagine that you would want to leave early, but this has been such a tense afternoon. You just can't see where the winner's going to come from.
If you're an Altrincham fan down in the Altrincham end there, where we're looking, why are you leaving the ground now with... there must be a really good party happening downtown somewhere.
Well, we're about to get underway for this second period.
Oh, spoon on some more pressure, spoon on some more nerves. Bring on the second half of extra time. Can we do it?
Yes, we can. Is that the answer?
That better be the answer. That better be the answer.
But back out again now. The teams are ready for this second period. 15 minutes that could define a season for two sides. Potentially penalty kicks at the end of it. Altrincham shooting from left to right as we watch from this main stand here at Guiseley Radio on Guiseley AFC Radio and BCB 106.6 this afternoon. The ball forward, Perry handles it. And a free kick is given to Guiseley. We'll try and bring you this last 15 minutes as unfettered with stress and tension as we can. But
well, Tim's. I'm very grateful for Tim doing this. Has just tweeted that apparently I do indeed look like a hairy beetroot. So why not? Thanks for that.
Oh well. Madness subsides for a moment. Guiseley have the ball. Kevin Holsgrove loses out though. Malt is tackled and Potts wins the ball. Good tackle in on him. Firm physical challenge. And eventually Altrincham get it up to the halfway line. Ben Parker nods on. Guiseley can't get this one down. Andy Holdsworth on the halfway line. Looks ahead of him. He's got options. It's up towards Potts, but if Potts is the target man, he's never going to win the aerial battle with Haven. Boys wins it back though for Guiseley. To the left-hand side. Parker has a run from full-back. Cuts inside to the edge of the area. Parker in towards Boys. Boys takes a spinning turn shot. No power on the shot though. And it's comfortable for Stuart Coburn to claim.
Yeah, it was a good move that. Ben Parker driving forward. We haven't seen him do an awful lot of that in the recent parts of this game. He made a good opportunity there on the edge of the area and Adam Boyce just couldn't get enough behind it. They are struggling to shoot on the turn. All of the players are today, just because of how soft I think the pitch has got with the heavy rain showers there's been on and off over the afternoon.
It's Laurie now, the goal scorer for Altrincham, who plays the ball forward. Cut out well by Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth sends it long. There's no one really going to get on the end of that, but the nod across from Perry finds Guiseley with the opportunity to collect, but it's defeated and sent away by Haven, nodded on by Hall. Reese Maynell helps it forward, but it's cut out again by Haven. Malt. And it's coming forward now with the feet of Scott Leather, who's playing a more advanced role since the substitute of Marshall. Plays it towards the edge of the area where Perry, the danger man, gets onto it. Gavin Rothery steps across and forced to go back to Drench under the physical pressure of Perry. Such a great addition to the armoury of Altrincham. Up to the halfway line now, and Holsgrove gets the kind bounce off Densmore, tries to win the ball, but Haven with a firm challenge sends it forward up towards Holsgrove. Holsgrove's onside, he gets the ball down but can't get past the defender. It's helped away by Haven, and it's going to be a Guiseley throw. Breathe. It's a throw in their own half.
I don't know, let's say Kevin Holsgrove's first touch deserted him a bit there, or something.
Hope you enjoy.
This is painful.
It is painful. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast nonetheless, but Guiseley are not making it easy for anyone, not least themselves. It's one each here into stoppage time. It's going to be into extra time rather. It's going to be a tough next 12 minutes, and Altrincham come forward. The ball goes over towards Richmond. It's gone over him. It's going to be picked up by Densmore. The captain drills it in. The headed attack from Damian Reeves is blocked by Ben Parker, but at the expense of a corner for Altrincham. And the danger is back on here.
Well, I hope you can hear the roar of the home fans. It's their first real big opportunity for a few minutes, a set piece. Everybody gathering inside the Guiseley area. Could this be the moment to decide the outcome of this game?
104 minutes into this game, the ball whips over. It's headed away, 19 rather. 119 minutes we've played. Back into the penalty area where Boys is in defensive duty. Scoops the ball away, only as far as Malt. Malt sends it in. There's an offside flag against Reeves, who puts the ball in the back of the net after challenging Stephen Drench for the ball. I think there was probably two decisions that would have gone against him there. One that counted was the offside flag. Nonetheless, you don't like to see the ball go in the back of the net even then, but into the last 10 of extra time here, it's still 1-1.
I don't mean to correct you. Am I right in thinking we played about 109 minutes rather than 119? So we've got about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
quite right,
check.
quite right.
I didn't start my stopwatch for the second half of extra time, and I wondered if I'd just lost 10 minutes of my life.
Ellis sends the ball forward.
I wouldn't mind the next 10 minutes passing without me being aware of.
Perry wins the ball in the halfway line for Altrincham. They come forward now, get the ball back to Perry, who's a real threat again, coming forward, goes past Ellis, gets the ball infield here. Richmond helps it on. Good cutting out from Kevin Holsgrove, because he was trying to find Densmore on the overlap, and that was a good movement again from Altrincham. And good defensive work there from Kevin Holsgrove on that left-hand side.
Yeah, and it's Holsgrove that Drench is looking for with the goal kick here, or the clearance out of hands, and he's backing in, using his strength to get onto the ball, winning his side. Well, I thought he'd won his side a throw in there. Referee thinks otherwise. Densmore can start at right back for Altrincham.
Yeah, frustrating that. He'd done the hard work and then must have taken a nick off the Guiseley man to go out for a throw. So we just defend the throw down that left-hand side. Altrincham beginning to get a bit of a head of steam in this second period of extra time. Densmore throws the ball in towards Perry. The interception from Holsgrove doesn't quite work. Danny Hall steps across to take the ball away from Damian Reeves. Drench now throws it out here. Can Ben Parker collect? Parker coming up towards the halfway line. He'll know he's been in a game today. Holsgrove closed down quickly by Haven. And Guiseley now have a throw in inside the Altrincham half. Parker with the ball thrown in field. Excuse me. To Potts. Back to the halfway line where Hall takes over. Sends it long up towards Boys. Easily muscled off here by Marshall. And that was a good header from him because he finds Damian Reeves. Then into Perry. Danny Ellis steps across Perry. Gets the firm foot in it. Jake Lawler heads it on. Gavin Rothery takes it in the centre circle. He's beaten to it by Richmond. The ball back to the halfway line. Nicky Clee. He's got options ahead of him. He decides to play it long towards the substitute Perry. Perry goes to ground, nothing given. Guys, he can come away with it with Holsgrove. Up to the halfway line. Holsgrove's got Potts in field. Potts collects it on the halfway line. Guys are getting players forward. If they can get it to the right-hand side, they've got Gavin Rothery. Rothery, about 30 yards from goal, has the overlapping run of Andy Holdsworth. If Holdsworth can get this in the area, he's got Boys, but the cross, as he slams the ground with his hand, isn't as good as he wanted. And it gives the ball back to Stuart Coburn. Coburn knocks that one out into touch so that some treatment can be received. Let's just get Tim's thoughts on what's happening on the touchline.
Yeah, cheers, Colin. Tim is down here, and it's going to be another change for Altrincham. As I think it's Greg Wilkinson who's looking like he's getting some instructions, so he will come on as the final change for Altrincham. Just to say as well, the Guiseley bench here are just up on their feet. They're so tense, as tense I guess you guys are up there. And I'm tense. I'm looking like a tomato. I don't know about Nick looking like a beetroot, but I'm tense down here. But anyway, hopefully as Guiseley can close this final few minutes out, or even possibly get a late winner. So back to you guys anyway.
Yeah, cheers, Tim. You always look like a tomato. Don't know about just now.
He's more like a red pepper, just with his shape of face.
I can talk with my smooth, bald head.
Yeah, you're more potato-like.
Yeah, thanks. Vegetable analogies aside, we're still waiting for that substitute. They seem to have sent actually Greg Wilkinson, who was about to come on, back. Guys who give the ball back sportingly, as you'd expect, to Stuart Coburn. So Simon Richmond it was, who maybe had just a touch of cramp. done an awful lot of running, been very impressive for the Alti midfield. The ball sent forward now. Reeves has a chance to get past Danny Ellis. It goes in towards goal, but Danny Hall just shepherds the ball back to Stephen Drench. 6 minutes of extra time left. One each. Very, very tense. The ball forward by Stephen Drench. Headed away as Altrincham clear up to the halfway line. The ground a bit more subdued as the tension really tells than it was in the opening forays of this half. Damian Reeves has gone to ground. I've no idea why, because he must have just battered into Danny Ellis. Danny Ellis hasn't surely got anything to answer on that one, but Damian Reeves I think will survive.
Well, that was a bit bizarre, wasn't it? Danny Ellis is just moving forward as you'd expect him to. Reeves makes a huge leap to try and win the ball in the air. Fully separate to Danny Ellis, seems to clock himself and go down. Not quite sure what all that was about. But you're absolutely right. Subdued is not a bad word for the atmosphere. I think people are starting to feel the tension that I've seemed to have been labouring under for quite a while already. Because it's getting to that stage where any goal would be decisive.
I think with the stoppages we've had, we'll have some stoppage time in this extra time, so that's going to add a minute. We've got about 4.5 by my reckoning of normal extra time. Plus there will be injury time added to that, I would suspect. Stephen Drench picks the ball up. Cal Perry not giving him a second. Goes to close him down after returning the ball sportingly to him. Drench sends it long up towards Gavin Rothery. The header won by the Altrincham fullback. So, makeshift fullback there is Nicky Clee at the moment. And Guiseley win the ball back from the throw-in. But Altrincham clear up to the halfway line where Andy Holdsworth has it. He's going to send this one long. Looking for Kevin Holsgrove. Headers won by Haven. Jake Lawler has to win this battle in midfield, but good headering from Richmond takes it away from him, but he can't continue with the motion. Altrincham back now in the centre circle here with Laurie. Back to Haven. Haven some 10 yards inside his own half, is looking for his options, sends it short into Richmond. Richmond slips, Maynell takes over, Maynell plays it into the Altrincham man Molt, and Molt has a run now at the goal. Molt steps forward, he plays a cross into the area, headed away by Holdsworth. Jake Lawler completes the clearance. Potts now with back to 3 men, has to try and work that one away. Now Kevin Holsgrove has a bit of a run, but Tom Marshall steams across to knock this one out into touch. And good work from the substitute centre half. Takes the ball away from Kevin Holsgrove. Good work again from the Lions man as well. Potts now into Holsgrove from the throw-in. Guisey with a bit of momentum here. You've got Parker on the left-hand side. It bounces off Haven. Here to Parker. Plays the ball into the area. The goalkeeper slips. And it's gone behind. And Guisey have a corner. And for a moment the Alti defenders were at 6s and 7s.
Yeah, it was an important intervention by Nicky Clee at the back post, heading it out for the corner. Kevin Holsgrove has made himself felt since he's come on with his presence, and that time the knockdown from his attempted cross allowed Ben Parker to try and slip one in as well.
So the corner kick on that side to be taken by Rhys Maynell this time. Andy Holdsworth, the only Guisey player, outfield player inside our half at the moment. So Maynell with the corner, floats this one in up towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Nodded on there, not kept in. Kept in by Boys, flicked away by Altrincham, and the pressure has been defended, and it's sent all the way back to Stephen Drench. He sends it long. Guisey have still players forward. There's no offside decision against the returning players. It's sent back into the Guiseley half, and then a speculative clearance early from Andy Holdsworth back for a goal kick. That was a great chance there for Guisey with that corner, but with a minute and a half to go of extra time. We're going to have that change finally by the looks of it. Greg Wilkinson is stepping off the substitutes bench. I wonder if he's a penalty taker that they've got in mind, or if they're forced into a change.
Well, there's not an awful lot of time left in the game. There's no obvious injuries at the moment, but I doubt any of the players are feeling 100% either.
Lee Sinnott still opting to hold his cards to his chest with that. Gavin Rothery helps it away to the halfway line. Certainly looks like they're going to make that change at some point. At the moment, though, they have the attacking momentum. A minute and 10 seconds of added time, of extra time to go, plus whatever the referee will add. Altrincham with the throw, level with the centre circle on the left-hand side. Takes the ball towards the edge of the area. It's picked up on the edge of the 18-yard box by Richmond. Richmond lays it back. Square now here for Laurie. Laurie has a chance to have a run at this Guiseley defence. Out comes Reese Maynell to block him. Finds Kyle Perry. Kyle Perry gets a shot. It's always curling wide, but he's got such power on the drive, hasn't he, Nick? You really worry when he gets on the edge of the D. This time, though, back into the Guiseley fans who were behind Steve Drench's goal and to safety.
Yeah, well, Lee Sinnott was hopping mad that Kyle Perry took the shot there. He was absolutely furious, turned away, head in his hands, going, why, you've taken it too soon. And I think he went for the audacious, and that time they didn't want him to. The calmest man in the Guiseley dugout and the Guiseley technical area by a long way is Danny Boschel, the least experienced man at standing in there. Both Mark and Martin have been hopping up and down in the last few minutes. And, wow. Sorry, that's just stopped me in my tracks. This final substitution for Altrincham. Wilkinson it is coming on. Damian Reeves. The two most prolific strikers in the Altrincham team have been substituted in this game ahead of potential penalties. As Wilkinson comes on, we also see the signal from the fourth official, 2 minutes of added time. This is the final 2 minutes that these two teams have an opportunity to make a decisive goal-scoring intervention and prevent this game from going to penalties to decide who's going up.
Perry goes through a goal, straight from the goal clearance. Stephen Drench off his line. It falls to the substitute who scores. Oh my word, Greg Wilkinson has scored a late goal to send Altrincham into the Conference Premier. It's heartbreak again for the Lions. It was always going to be dramatic, and it's so hard on Guiseley. The ball forward, Greg Wilkinson on hand after Stephen Drench had batted the ball away, and the Guiseley players are on their haunches. Bitter defeat again for the Lions, and Altrincham have stolen the show late into added time at the end of extra time. It's going to finish here, Altrincham 2, Guiseley 1.
Time for some cliches. Heartbreak, absolute heartbreak.
Speechless once again, Nick. Absolutely speechless. We're back underway. There'll be no time really to do anything with it. And guys, you have to send everyone long here. They win the ball here with Reese Maynell. He's got few options ahead of him. Sends it to Rothery. Guys, you need to send it long. Get bodies into the box. Andy Holdsworth knows what to do. Sends it up there. Jake Lawler nods on. Nobody on the end of it. Lawler gets it onto the chest. He has to send this into the area now. The ball threaded through. Finds Potts. Potts goes towards the byline. He's not going to be able to keep off Jake Moult, and it's a goal kick. And Altrincham celebrate that goal kick like a goal, because it really marks the end of this game. What heartbreak at the end of such a fantastic run for Guiseley. It is the cruelest way for this game to end. Some of the Lions fans are beginning to congregate towards the exits there. They know the game is up. So harsh, and such a clumsy goal really for Altrincham to steal. But we've had, for my reckoning, the best part of 3 minutes of added time on top of stoppages. Reese Maynell in left back position sends it back to Stephen Drench. One last roll of the dice perhaps. Drench sends it long. Ellis is playing a makeshift centre forward role, but the ball's picked up and sent into Guiseley's half. Andy Holdsworth will take, gives it back to Stephen Drench. Drench comes out of his goal, sends it long. No sign of a whistle just yet. Headed away by the substitute Marshall. Guiseley win a throw. It's not over yet, but surely this is the last chance really. Holdsworth with the cross up towards Danny Ellis. Poor ball, slipped by Richmond. Haven clears. Do you expect the referee to blow the whistle now? He does, and it sparks rapturous celebrations here for Altrincham, and it's heartbreak again for Guiseley. This has been one of the hardest things again to have to witness for the Lions. Such a brave performance against a makeshift Guiseley side. The players go down on their knees, but they have got nothing to feel ashamed about. It has been a magnificent effort. It is Altrincham who go up to the Skrill Premier, but Guiseley have been hardly done to here this afternoon, and this time they can really build themselves again for next season, because this has been such a tough afternoon and a tough one to repeat. But once again, it's the opposing fans who go out there and celebrate and clamour around their players, and once again it's Guiseley who face another season after playoff heartbreak in the Skrill North. Nick, I don't know if you're ready to...
Have been nervous, but they were heroic in their efforts and their endeavours today. We came so close once again. Who knows, maybe after a summer of regrouping and thinking about contracts and players and things, maybe next year will be our year. But as Mark Bauer leaves today, he must absolutely be proud of what he's achieved and the turnaround that he's made since the last time we were here at Moss Lane in Altrincham, when we were in the relegation zone places. We've said it before, we'll say it again. Our club was here in complete tatters the last time we were here, and now we arrive here having been for 32 games by far the best team in the division in terms of points earned. We came so close. The players are absolutely distraught, and I understand it, but we absolutely must not accept that this is the end of guys ready to accept the trophy. And to the victor go the spoils of playing in the Conference Premier next season. And Guiseley can hold their heads high, they really can. People, if you've come to watch us or you've come to listen to our commentary in the last few weeks of the season, stick with it. This is a club on the up. Come back in July, come and watch us in pre-season, and we're going to give you some more of the same. I'm absolutely certain of it in 2014-15.
Well, it's never uneventful when you follow Guiseley, is it? Oh my goodness. It's the same again. Back in 2011, we led against Telford with 13 minutes or so to go. We were in the Conference Premier, but then 2 late goals spoiled the day. The last one that was scored with no time to reply. It's the same once again here. Heartbreak for the Lions. James Lowry got the goal that set Alty on their way, but it was a Jake Lawler header from a corner that gave us all hope, and there were chances for both sides. It was open, it was even. And then Greg Wilkinson came on for Damian Reeves. Damian Reeves, of all people, who had a knock of some sort, and I think that was with an eye to penalty kicks. Wilkinson, moments on the pitch, chased a through ball after another substitute, Kyle Perry, went through clean on goal. Stephen Drench produced a magnificent save, and yet the ball still fell in Wilkinson's favour, and he had the simplest job of tapping the ball home. It's only a few minutes since the end of this game, but we've got a lot of follow-up to do with the lads and get their views on what they've experienced this afternoon, and hopefully get the Audio Boo interview with Mark Bauer. He'll have plenty of duties on today, and one of his biggest duties, of course, is to lift this Guiseley side that, as we look over to our right, huddled on the edge of the D, and the goal that was the one they were defending, and just left to reflect on what has been a heartbreaking afternoon once again for Guiseley. We hope you've enjoyed listening to the broadcast. Not that we could bring you any better news than we did. Guiseley AFC Radio, we've been broadcasting every game this season. Tweets, all your follows, everything you've done to support us this season. And thank you to BCB Radio for...
I agree. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it over the season, and we will be back in 2014-2015.
See you next season.